It's time for Intelligent Machines. Jeff's here, Paris is here, and Nicholas De Leon is here. You'll be amazed what he has done with $20 or $30 worth of AI, including a local newspaper, predicted the winners of the World Series and the World Cup, and even helped people get a job. Intelligent Machines is next.
Podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
This is Intelligent Machines with Jeff Jarvis and Paris Martineau, episode 883, recorded Wednesday, August 12th, 2026. Gates Gate. It's time for Intelligent Machines, the show where we cover the latest in AI, robotics, and all the smart little doodads surrounding us all these days. Hello, everybody. I'm Leo, and let's say hello to Paris Martineau from Consumer Reports, where she is on the food safety beat.
It's true.
God bless her.
That I am.
We need you doing that. Hello, Paris.
Hello, Leo.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
I just want you to know you can swear. We'll just bleep it out.
I don't think that that's actually true. I mean, I think you'll bleep it out, but I don't know that I'm allowed to swear. I think I think that quite a few people will yell at me.
Only Jammer B from afar.
And that matters.
Also here, he is the Emeritus Professor of Journalistic Innovation at the Craig Newmark Graduate School of Journalism at the City University of New York. And his new book, Hot Type, is how soon?
Well, I thought it was next week, but people were telling me they're getting the books.
Yay!
So I guess it's this week.
Oh,
it's out.
Awesome. Look in your mailbox. It could be there already.
Yeah, those of you who are nice enough to pre-order, thank you.
And if it's not, go to jeffjarvis.com and order Hot Type, the story of, I sent you the funniest thing, the story of the Linotype. I don't know how Google's Dream Beans knew this. We've talked about Dream Beans before, which is this weird Google experiment where it reads all of your personal stuff and then makes pictures of you and suggests things you should do. I don't know if it's going to still be here. I sent it to you.
It was in the chat, our chat.
Yeah. I
gotta check this chat.
It's got new ones every day. Yes, I have to open up the special super secret chat that we have in whatever program this is. But it drew a picture of me looking. You probably know what it was.
Oh, that's what this was. Leo sent in our group WhatsApp at one point just an image of him and just utter nonsense below. And I was like, is Leo okay? Is he experiencing
Google did this. Google did this.
But yeah, it's things.
It drew a picture of me looking at some sort of
a kind of linotype, a modified linotype.
Okay, and then I'm looking at some block, which I think is the sorting mechanism, right?
Yeah.
The mechanical sorting.
Smiling,
mechanism.
it makes you happy.
It describes binary teeth. It's just a lot of text below it.
It was recommending that I watch a movie called Linotype the Film.
Which is very, very good.
So, you see,
Wilson.
Google knows.
Yeah.
It's a weird experiment, and now you can get it. You don't have to be a Google Ultra, Gemini Ultra subscriber. You can get it if you have just a smaller Google subscription. I both love it and hate it. I hate it because I think of all the work it's doing that I don't even look at. So that's, another forest down. But it's kind of fun and it's funny. It's weird. I get weird. And it's all drawings of me and Lisa. It knows apparently what Lisa looks like and somehow knows I'm married to her. And so it recommends things we could do as a couple.
Oh,
anyway,
isn't that nice?
Nice.
Do we have a guest today, Leo?
We do.
Is there someone else in this podcast that we're making sit in silence while you described your AI dreams?
He is.
I have an app for that.
He's along for the ride. Let me say hello to Nicholas De Leon. You've seen him many times. He was on Twitter on Sunday. He is a wonderful contributor to our show, and senior electronics reporter at Consumer Reports, a colleague of yours, Paris. And the funniest thing happened, I think it was last week, Paris said, yeah, we had this conference call with this guy who works at
Not this guy. I said Nicholas, who I've been on Twit before.
Oh, you knew. Okay.
Knew.
Okay.
Yes.
I thought maybe you didn't know who he was.
We both both work together, and we've both been on Twit at the same time with you.
Oh,
Remember, I'm
Yes.
senile. I don't know who's worked with whom. So
It's true.
he's
Funny.
outsourced his entire brain to
I got other guys doing that.
Gwen. So
But we thought we'd have Nicholas on this show because he is doing some really interesting stuff. Welcome, Nicholas De Leon, to Intelligent Machines.
Thank you, Leo, for the warm welcome. I've actually known Paris. I don't know that I've met Paris. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we've
I
known
don't think
each other
we've met in
from
person.
Twitter for like
I was just saying,
10
the
years,
internet.
a long time.
It's been quite a while. He's
kind
not
of
just
crazy,
some
actually.
guy.
He's not just
He's some guy who
He's-
posts content on the internet.
But it is the case that your employer said, you know, what Nicholas is doing with AI is very interesting. Did he do a presentation for you?
Yeah, so came and presented to our special projects team, which is the team that I'm on at CR, about all of the really interesting work that he's doing with AI. And it was both in terms of we had a couple meetings, one of which was about FOIA more generally and kind of how his work could enhance our efforts there. But I got really fascinated by your discussion around your job that you're doing outside of the job that we both share. So I guess could you tell people a little bit about that and how you got started as a local news baron?
Yeah, well, I don't know about Baron yet, maybe one day. But yeah, so the site is Tucson Daily Brief. I've been doing it for about 6 months now. You know, I've had a couple conversations over the past couple days. There's no grand design here. There's no grand plan for like world domination or anything like that. This is just an experimentation in AI and journalism and stuff that you can do, basically. So the original impetus for this was when OpenClaw was like all the rage, you know, in like January, February, whatever. I initially dismissed it. I was like, this is just like Twitter talk or whatever. But then a couple weeks go by and it's like, okay, people are still talking about it. And so I wanted to mess around with it. I was like, okay, let me just use it. And, you know, my kind of the way I learn and do things, I got to like mess with it. I got to play with it. I got to do it, you know, before talking about it, before really having any strong opinions necessarily. So I installed OpenClaw, and that was kind of the beginning of like, well, what can I do with this? Maybe I can. Yeah, everyone's like, oh, you can automate this, you can automate that. I was okay, whatever. Maybe I'll do like a local news site. I don't know. Why not? I'm in Tucson, Arizona. It's a small town, but it's not really that small. There's 500,000 in the city itself, and there's like 1 million in the metro. So I'm like, okay, this is a good sized city to try to mess around with some stuff. You know, maybe I can. You know, I'm obviously not going to like take over the town in terms of like I'll be the only source, but like maybe I could be in a conversation. Maybe I can have a seat at the table. It was kind of like the really only ambition here. So when the site started in February, it was pretty bare bones. This is actually the third version of like the design. The most recent design that folks can look at right now, I actually made that with Kimi K3, the model that was like all the rage like 2 or 3 weeks ago, whatever it was. But the initial version was pretty much just aggregation. There's something like 30.
Wait. What were you running? What were you running Kimi K3 on?
Just via Open Router, just Open.
Oh, okay, I see. Right.
Yeah. I don't have powerful enough hardware to run much of anything locally. I have a 5080, the graphics card, which can do some stuff, but like not really, honestly.
Got it.
So it's all just done via the API. So yeah, the initial version of the site was pretty much just aggregation. You know, there's one newspaper in town, there's a couple TV stations, NPR, you know, you name it. Just pretty basic aggregation, and that's how it ran, just silently in the background. The way that it worked generally was, and this is all built on the Claude stack, although that may change as soon as tomorrow. We'll see. But the initial version was, hey, here's 30 sources of information, RSS feeds, maybe some light scraping, whatever it is. This is the kind of the source of truth regarding the city of Tucson. Go through these sources every night, pick out the top 10 stories that happened, you know, across the different categories: government, public safety, I don't know, sports, you know, whatever it is, whatever the categories are. Synthesize and summarize them, send them to me, and then publish them to the site. So every morning at like around 6 a.m. Arizona time, there's the daily brief. And that's just kind of like the headlines for Tucson. All the, it'll, because it's summarization, aggregation. Obviously, it links back to the original, to the TV station, to the newspaper, whatever the case may be.
How much of this do you do manually, though? Do you write some or no?
This is like predominantly just Claude code.
So it's automatic. You don't have to sit and hover over
no.
it.
This is just humming in the background. I'm literally asleep when this part is happening, basically. Or
What I
I'm
love
just
is
getting up.
on the website in the about, it says how this is made. The newsroom is one person, which raises a fair question. How does one person cover 4 municipalities worth of public business before breakfast?
And keep his job.
Yes.
There's this thing in video games called a tool-assisted speed run. A player uses software to play through a game with a level of precision and speed no human could achieve in real time. Tucson Daily Brief is that same idea applied to local news. The tools
You're
are large
speed
language
running the
models.
news. I like that.
For inscription engines, public data scraper schedulers, and a few hundred lines of glue Python. So, I mean, I guess walk us through a little bit how you went from what you just described, like large scale aggregation of other local news sources, to starting to use AI to actually go out there and get new information, new transcriptions, new documents, and write stories off that no one else has.
Yeah, it was the idea was like, okay, the aggregation is cool, like it's fine, right? But like anyone, whatever, kind of. So I'm thinking as a journalist, okay, there's these tools, like what could I do that actually like infuses like real journalism, real news here, move stories forward? Like what can I add here as someone who's been doing journalism in various capacities for enough years to like make this kind of stand out beyond just like a cool tech demo, basically. So, because I had the Daily Brief, I turned that into a podcast. I use 11 Labs to clone my voice. So that's uploaded to Apple Podcasts and YouTube every morning at 6. And so the first beyond like kind of just raw automation, whatever, was the idea of a live AI reporter, which I'm happy to give credit to an AI model when it comes up with the term. I came up with the term live AI reporter. I came up with the idea for chattdb.com, which I'll get to in a second. The idea with the live AI reporter is, here I'm covering right now 4 municipalities. It's the city of Tucson, Pima County, and then 2 of the other towns nearby. I'm about to add a couple of school districts. I think next week they come online. But basically, all these municipalities, they all have town halls, they all have whatever. Those are usually streamed online, whether it's Facebook or some other platform. So I was like, okay, so this video, this exists. It's being transmitted, live somewhere. So what I could do, and this is just me thinking, an accumulation of like nerd knowledge of years spent, like transcoding video and like doing various like nerd okay, so if there's audio being broadcast, and I can capture that audio in real time. I know there are models that can transcribe audio in real time. So why don't I just put those two together? Why don't I just transcribe? I'll grab the audio via FFmpeg, save that to disk somewhere. As that's being broadcast, send that to some model to be determined. It ended up being DeepGram. So that creates a real-time transcript of the town hall meeting. And this could be happening simultaneously all over the county. But the live meeting happening, it creates a transcript, right? These meetings last like 3 hours easy. So it creates a transcript, boom, meeting's over. That transcript is then sent to, again, Anthropic, I think it's Sonnet 4.6, which is doing this leg of the work. So that transcript is sent to Sonnet, and the prompt is something along the lines of, here's a giant text dump of a transcript of a local town meeting. Take this giant text dump and turn it into like 1,000-word AP-style news article highlighting the most important things, the most impactful things. Don't get lost in minutia of like, this isn't minutes of a meeting. This is a news story. This has to, local town halls aren't necessarily the most exciting, but they do describe and they do discuss, things of impact. Around here in Arizona, there's a lot of data center stuff. There's a lot of stuff about Flock, the security camera. There's a lot of like meaty things going on here. So Sonnet gets the instructions. It turns that transcript into the article in, a minute, let's say, no time, basically. That draft of an article is then sent to me. I edit manually to make sure, the live transcription via the DeepGram engine is pretty good, but it's not perfect. There's a lot of Spanish language names here in Tucson. It always mangles those. So I had to make like a little interrupt in between to say, hey, if you mishear Gonzalez, he probably, he means Gonzalo. There's a bunch of names here and words or whatever. So that like corrects it manually. And then that's eventually published. That takes, depending upon the length of the meeting, to edit that down, that takes about, let's call it an hour. The latest one was last night. There was a Pima County Board of Supervisors, is the kind of executive board here. They had a meeting. It ended at 8:30 local time. I was playing a video game, so I was like, okay, I need a minute. But the story was on the site, like, let's call it within an hour. And when I checked, we were the first local news source to have coverage of that meeting, which happens all the time now, honestly. Not that it's a race, not that I'm like saying, look how cool I am. It's just like, okay, so it's working. I am actually
the fact that it's
beating
getting
some other
covered
folks.
at all is the big win, because
I agree.
as local news has disappeared, and Jeff, we've talked about this for years. In every community, city council meetings don't get covered anymore. I'm just love this. You've got liquor license applications, so I know there's going to be a new 7-Eleven.
That matters.
This is fantastic.
I want to go to the Taco Giro Mexican restaurant.
Oh, they've got Tucson has great Mexican restaurants.
This is, every municipality here,
Chipotle.
the way it works, whether it's split between the county or the municipality, somewhere there's, liquor license filings, and this is all public information. This is not like I'm not stealing anything.
Do you have to scrape it, or do they have an API?
It's a combination. I believe this stuff is primarily API, actually.
Nice.
But it's a combination, and there's like so many like endpoints. No, I'm a little mixed up, like what exactly is where nowadays, because there's so many sources of information. But so it surfaces all that, and so that was kind of my first idea, where it's like, okay, this is like real. Is this journalism? There was a story in Wired today where someone kind of did a very similar technique, a live transcript, turned it into an article, and is that reporting? I don't know. Some of this kind of feels like that, like how many angels can dance on the head of a pin type of thing. It's like, I don't know. It's
Who
useful
cares
information.
if the public gets the information? Here's a story about the vote over the new data center in the town.
Yes. And this,
now, did you write this lead, or did AI write this lead? Voters nearly divided down the middle on the $5 billion Luckett Road project, proof of how contentious it has become. But the mayor and council members who approved it all kept their seats. Did you write that?
So the provenance of this was the New York Times actually went to Marana, which is a town nearby. It's an exceedingly nice town. It's like so beautiful, actually, in my opinion.
And so they naturally, NIMBY, they don't want a data center anywhere near.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big thing down here. Obviously it's a desert, so there's basically no water. But the land is cheap here, so I understand, why would they build it here? Because the land is cheap, basically. So the New York Times was here in, I think, May. They came to Marana, big profile. Okay, whatever, that's fine. It was getting a lot of hype. I was like, the anti-data center movement, is really. So I was like, okay, I'm a naturally skeptical person of basically everything, which is partly a consequence of watching so much professional wrestling as a kid. I'm just very skeptical of everything. There's always like an angle.
Wait a minute. You mean that's made up?
So basically,
No, Leo, it's all real, just like your AI friends.
Virginia.
So the provenance of this is we had an election, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, and the anti-data center ticket, it was 4 people and only one person won. So I'm like, okay, that's interesting. You would think, given some of the news coverage, that the anti-data center folks would just run the table. I don't know. There's some nuance there. So this is a story that I would say I co-wrote with AI. We went through the results. We went to the county recorder's office. We got like the raw vote totals. We added some context to the New York Times, and it has my entire corpus of reporting on data centers and all this Marana town halls going back to like, I don't know, February, March. So we were able to build a story that I think is fair. It's not like saying, haha, the anti-data center guys lost, or, hooray, they, whatever it is. It's just kind of like, I don't really care. This is just like what happened. To me,
it's traditional reporting. It's factual. Based,
honestly,
right?
I
it's
make
not opinion. But did you write this?
No. This was Sonnet, I guess.
I'm impressed.
Or Opus, I forget.
Because it doesn't have any of the tells. It doesn't feel like AI wrote it.
This is
a good
probably
league.
a mixture of me and it. I couldn't give you percentage, maybe not 50-50, maybe like 75-25.
So you put some
I
writing
put some
in
of
there.
me in here. Yeah. It's not entirely. That's why I say on the site it's semi-automated. Some things like the daily brief is entirely that just gets published to the site. Some stories like this, I have a little bit more of a hands-on role.
Do you find you have to do a lot of maintenance, like corrective maintenance, like? No, don't do it that way. Do it this way, or is it just is this completely at this point running on its own?
It maybe can't entirely run on its own, but it's pretty close. Like I just do it because I think it's responsible to, like, okay, if I'm going to write an article, if I'm going to publish an article about the town hall meeting, and I'm going to say, hey, here's what happened at Tucson town hall. I kind of need to. I wouldn't feel comfortable just like shooting that out there. Basically, I kind of want to take, like, even if it's just like 10 minutes. Just to make sure it's like not crazy.
Yeah, on like a average day to day, week to week, like how much time are you spending, I guess, overseeing these agents or like rewriting stuff that ends up publishing?
The most time is honestly the social media. I started doing Instagram maybe like 6 weeks ago, and that takes a while because I can't automate Instagram really. I really can't automate that. I might if I could. So I do that. I want to say manually in collaboration with the AI. I'm like, hey, here's today's brief. What's like a cool light thing that I could put on Instagram, and then it does the rendering. I don't want to sit in Photoshop and like I'm not doing that. So it generates all of that for me, and I come up with it comes up with the caption, and I maybe edit it. But Instagram takes forever. I just started doing Blue Sky. Blue Sky is like a combination of like auto posting and manual. X is entirely manual. What else did we do? Oh, we do YouTube Shorts. So those are generated automatically. If you go to YouTube.
Wait a minute, you make little videos?
Yes, yeah. So there's YouTube Shorts.
That's new.
Again, the kind of the
what is it? YouTube.com/?
It should be Tucson Daily Brief. Yeah. Those I don't even, on a certain level, it's like I don't even know why people watch YouTube Shorts, but it's the type of thing where it's like people watch them, then
watch them, I'm going to make them.
I'm gonna make it, and the kind of the marching orders there, like keep it light, keep it fun. There's like a jingly kind of song that I made with 11 Labs. It's like, make it sound like lighthearted. So it's just kind of like
his voice with 11 Labs too.
Yeah, I cloned the voice with 11 Labs.
Oh, so it's reading his
voice.
Your voice.
Yeah,
let's hear a little bit of it here.
Good morning. I'm Nicholas DeLeon, and this is the Tucson Daily Brief for August 11th, 2026. 2 lightning-sparked fires are burning in ranges near Tucson. The Finger Ridge fire in the Santa Catalina Mountains.
Does it feel eerie
as of Monday,
to hear your own AI voice all the time?
Well, I hate hearing my voice to begin with. So I don't know.
I like it that you chose your voice instead of some generic,
I was,
TikTok
and I
voice.
cloned my voice. I read. I'm almost certain it was like I was either a Consumer Reports article or like a Guardian soccer article. I read the article from A to Z, cloned my voice, and gave it to 11 Labs. I had to make some corrections there because
job, actually.
11 Labs just out of the box. In my experience, it can't read the Spanish names correctly. Things like Democrat, Republican, it'll say like Rep or Dem. Symbols like the $sign. If it's like $10 million, it kind of gets. So I had to add like almost
$1 $1,000,000,000. Yeah.
So I had to make like an interrupt little file that like says, hey, if you encounter this, you actually need to say it. And you say phonetically, basically.
Nice.
What else?
We're talking to Nicholas DeLeon. He is, by day, a mild-mannered reporter for the Consumer Reports. He's their senior electronics editor. By night, he's an AI whiz who has created... This isn't the only thing you've created either, by the way. Before we move off Tucson Daily Brief, tell us what ChatTDB is.
So ChatTDB is a thing. And again, I'm happy to give credit to the model when it comes up with I came up with ChatTDB. That's basically a RAG tool. So basically it looks at like every day at like 8 a.m. it kind of refreshes the various databases of like stuff that we've published, whether that, literally everything from like liquor license, all that type of stuff. And it should be able to answer your question. So on the screen here, you're asking like, what did Miranda ask about the data centers? It should, assuming it works, it should be able to go through the corpus of stuff and come up with an answer saying, well,
Look,
Miranda did X, Y, and Z.
The establishment won, but barely.
Yes.
This is amazing.
And so
because
that's-
it's so local and it serves your communities. I mean, this is. How many? Do you have a lot of visitors?
I mean, no. Honestly, it's like
Probably you're gonna have visitors from all over the world after talking about this.
I'm
They're
definitely
all going to move to Tucson and the prices will go up.
Yeah.
It's your fault, Nicholas.
From
It's
the
all gonna be
old
your fault.
Pueblo.
Yeah. In terms of like the biggest metric I care, we have a newsletter, so that's probably the last big thing to describe. So I started that, I don't know, some way into the project, and so that idea is, again, look at the week's worth of stuff. Let's come up with a newsletter that's in a warm language, kind of fun. You read it Sunday morning. That is currently, again, all of this is currently being done with various Anthropic models. Grok 4.6 came out today, and I was able to try it briefly. The pricing seems fair, and not that local news needs like frontier level intelligence.
Well, how much do you spend on this?
All in, it's like, let's call it like $40 a month, $30 a month.
You're using $20 plans for this?
No, that's the biggest cost is the 11 Labs. I'm on like the creator tier,
That's
and
an
I probably
expensive
don't
tier.
need that. It's probably better to just pay via the API. But
You can do
it's one of those
tokens.
things where
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know.
So how are you
So
doing
it's-
it on
it's
the other
fine.
models?
Those are all. It's just via the API.
So you're
that's-
paying by token, not by
yes,
subscription.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
I've
even
never.
then, it's 20,
not-
30, 40 bucks a month?
Not even even Opus would be like I want to say like $12 a month, something like that.
But what you're doing, it's important. You're smart about which models you choose. So you choose cheaper models to do the things they can do well. You don't have to use frontier models for everything.
No, not for this. I mean, we're not curing cancer or like discovering new science.
It's
this
pretty
is text
impressive.
synthesis.
By the way, you want to subscribe to their Sunday morning roundup of Tucson news because there's a crossword puzzle in it.
Yeah.
Yes, I made that. So I've done like a handful of kind of AI kind of side projects. One of them was a few months ago. I'm sure you guys know the meme, monitoring the situation, where everyone like really pays close attention. So I made a website called crosswordingthesituation.com. And that was basically a 5x5 mini crossword puzzle that's tied to news, like what happened like within the past 2 weeks. So all the clues are like literally like ripped from the headline, so to speak. So I made that, I don't know, February, March, and then I was like, it'd be cool if I take that idea of a crossword puzzle sourced in something and bring it to the Tucson thing. Maybe I could do like a Tucson crossword
I'm not going to
puzzle.
know any of these.
and I would say, I don't know, every single clue is tied to Tucson, but like, some percentage of them are local stuff. So it kind of rewards either reading the site or just being aware of like Tucson stuff.
It's so cool.
Yeah. I'm not done yet.
It's very Tucson-y, like one of the clues, dull and lifeless, the opposite of a monsoon sunset. Of course, you have monsoons, and then loosens up like tension after a haboob passes, which I presume is another weather thing that happens.
That's
in
the
Tucson.
word for dust storm they use. It.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is so amazing.
Leo, you mentioned before the meetings. I know I'm on the board of a little newspaper company now, and the problem is that's commodity news.
Right.
And what a place wants to do is free up their reporters' spare time to do more than that. And so we're using a company here in New Jersey, I think called Civilio, to help out of Montclair State, to help transcribe these meetings just to give the reporters what they want. But you can go directly to the public with it as long as you're clear about how this happens, and it frees up journalistic resources to do more.
Although,
And I
isn't
think
that
that's
where
important.
many reporters start? Is with those really?
Oh yeah,
terrible
and I
assignments?
covered them back in the day. I covered fist fights at local meetings back in the day.
All right, let me ask you because we're running out of time. I know you have you're on deadline or some sort of weird.
No, he's ready for his star turn on TV.
Oh, that's right. You got to get.
I got like 15 minutes. As long as I'm out by.
Tell us about your other stuff. So you had a World Series simulator. You had a World Cup simulator.
Yes, I had. So if you go, Deep Dugout was kind of my first big thing, and that was like an AI baseball simulation engine. If you go to deepdugout.com, That was the idea.
I wrote deep bug out. There you go. There's the typo.
That's a bit different.
Yeah.
That might be different. And so basically the idea was, what if you had, baseball is very stats heavy, of course. The idea was basically, what if I give each manager a model, Fable, Soul, whatever it is, and have them play against each other. I made like a baseball simulation engine where basically, the managers more or less decide, do I pull the pitcher? Do I keep him in? What's the lineup going to be today? All those separate decisions that a real manager would make, I handed over to a model. I used Polymarket to or who was the favorite to win the World Series. So, there's some source of real world. And then it's kind of like an extension of, arguably this is AI slop, and I understand that, and I don't mind, because it's like it generated match reports. It generated podcasts. It generated if you read the New York Post, like the Yankees beat reporter, and he's like, he's mad at the team. There's post game interviews. There's it's like a whole world of stuff happening,
made up stuff.
Yeah,
but I think one of the things you're doing that's interesting is pitting models against each other.
Yeah,
to see which models would be better at managing a baseball team.
Yeah, and it it feels like it kind of hit like a plateau
who's the best at it.
Yeah, it hit a plateau probably with Opus, I don't know, maybe 4.7, where at that model, at that point, it was just burning reasoning tokens and not.
There's no reason it doesn't get better.
Well, it was kind of my in sports, I'm a big soccer guy as well, and there's a manager, Pep Guardiola. He recently just left Manchester City, but the biggest knock against him for years was sometimes he overthinks games, where it's the answer is so obvious. This is your lineup. These are the guys you play. And sometimes he would be a little too clever and they would lose the game. And the criticism in the media was always, there he goes again, overthinking the situation, and he got it wrong again. Now, that didn't happen all the time. He was a very good manager. But when he tripped up, that's how he tripped up, So it was kind of okay, do models overthink things?
Yes.
Do they make things too complicated?
Yes, and yes.
So that was kind of the thinking there. And then, so that was the baseball project. I also made for the World Cup, I made something called matchdayinference.com, get it, inference. So matchdayinference.com. And the idea was, you go to a stadium, and there's a program, right? Oh, today the Yankees are playing the Red Sox. They have this record. It's a long and storied rivalry, yada, yada. So the idea was, okay, I'm going to make a digital version of that for the World Cup. But what I want to do is, if you are, and this was a pure journalism, product thinking thing. It's okay, what if we had infinite resources? How would we cover the World Cup? Probably the best resource newsroom is probably the New York Times, if I had to guess. And they can do a lot, but they don't have infinite. What can't they do? So the idea here was, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a match day program, totally customized to the person, to the individual person. So you pick your player, you pick your team, Spain, Germany, whatever it is. You pick a lens, I called it. Do you want the report to be, historical based? Do you want it to kind of be banter at the pub type of thing? You give it all those parameters. You click a button and it generates a match day program for you every morning that was sent out of the day of the game. And literally no two of those were the same. It was pulling stuff. I paid for a professional API, so the sports data was accurate, scores and things like that. I was pulling stuff from the FIFA archives, from the FIFA YouTube account, trying to bring in world context into. So when you open your email and you read this thing, oh, Spain is playing Argentina in the final at New York, New Jersey Stadium. You had a real product in your hand type of thing. And the design was, I see a lot of discussion online about every Claude design website looks the same. There's some truth to that. I kind of don't think it matters. I think a lot of this discussion is, I think we've got too many people just discussing things all day, basically.
just like the AIs going back and forth over and over.
It's just a lot of talk about
I like the design because it's like a zine. It's very quite personal.
The idea was very sub pop records, Slater, Kinney, Nirvana. I wanted it to look cool, basically. And so this was Claude. This was literally just Claude code, no other outside whatever, just me kind of like feeding it like album covers and like, oh, I want it to look like this. Maybe pink is a cool color. Maybe the typography should kind of look like this, and just riffing back and forth. And eventually we were able to land on this sort of aesthetic. So that was the last one. And the last kind of big one is it's a premium product. It's my first kind of go at like maybe having making money off this. It's called mynextassignment.com. And what that is it's basically a job finder tool for folks in media, editorial. It looks at like 300 plus job boards across newsrooms, across companies and universities, and you name it. Basically, it works is you sign up, you answer a little questionnaire. I've been in the industry for X number of years. These are my beats. This is what I'm good at. And then it will take your information, put it against the various pipelines and try to match you to roles that you would be good at. Oh, you would be really good at, this job that the Los Angeles Times is hiring for. And that's a premium product that I don't remember the pricing offhand. But the cool thing is that,
it's worth it because if you get a job, this is a lot less than joining a job board.
And to me, it's like what it does, and what there's a huge time saver. One, it finds jobs that like match your skills. I mean, few things are more demoralizing than looking for a job, honestly. And like, okay, I'm good at this. I'm good at this. You give it, and the models will scour the internet to find roles that are open that you may be a good fit for. Then, if you want to pay a little extra, it will then go ahead and tailor your resume to the job description. You give it your resume. Okay, it's going to rewrite it, matching the job description exactly, and it will then create a cover letter. Hi, my name is Nicholas, and I would love to join your company. All of this is like a humiliation ritual, obviously.
It is. It is.
So, I would never recommend, and for all this stuff, I would never recommend just like submitting it blindly. You need to edit this stuff. You need to like make it you, not just for like, you just should you should make it you're trying to, but it like saves so much. And okay, does it work? I've given this tool, it's been in beta for like, let's call it like 6 weeks. I've given it to a handful of friends. I'm aware of, I want to say 5 interviews with real companies that we've all heard of on this call, which I will obviously not mention. But like, I'm like, okay, this thing works. Ultimately, I can't guarantee anyone gets hired. Obviously, I cannot guarantee anything. But what it can do is it can save you time. And overnight, you get an email. So you wake up in the morning, you get an email that says, "Hey, Nicholas, hey, Paris, we found you, 20 roles that you are a good fit for. We used, I forget offhand what models I'm using to kind of filter it out. But like, here you go. Here's 10 roles that you would be a good fit for. 3 of those roles you'd be an awesome fit for. So we've gone ahead and made the cover letter and made the resume for you to edit and submit at your own pace."
The thing that's really so interesting here is just one guy, not I presume you're not a computer science, PhD or anything. You're a journalist.
I'm just a guy. No.
Yeah. Who in his spare time has done all of this really high quality work. I think it's just fascinating.
And then I have 2 iOS. I have 2 iOS native apps that are.
Of course you do.
One is.
No wonder you get up at 5 o'clock to walk the dog.
You got a lot of energy. So tell us about the iOS apps.
Yeah, the iOS apps. One is I don't want to give too. Maybe they should be out in the store. Maybe the next time I'm on Twit, a couple months from now. But basically, one is kind of like a lifestyle app. I'll say that is code complete. That is, I'm literally in the process of like putting together like the bank account stuff for the App Store for that. And the other one is a gaming accessory app. It's. If you play a lot of video games, it will be useful to you, is really all I can say. But especially for folks who play on Steam, I'll leave it at that. But that is like 90% code complete. It has like a bunch of cool themes, like all through gaming history. I'm getting old. I played a lot of Super Nintendo, Sega. Those are kind of like the games I care about. N64, I don't care as much about. PS5. So if you have like a real history of like video games, you may appreciate the overall design and aesthetic of the apps. And those should be launched, I don't know, in the next, well, so, some of it depends on App Store review, but like very, 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 very soon. And those were made again using primarily Claude code. And when Fable came out, that really helped with the UI work. Fable was very good with UI work, but like, it's just me messing around. It's just me tinkering, and I'm having fun. I tell my wife she's like, are you having fun? You're in that room like, oh,
what are you doing in there?
I'm like you know me by now. If I'm not having fun, I'm very easy to read. I get real grumpy really quick.
Patient.
But it's like, this is all cool to me. This is all fun.
Oh, it's cool. It's very impressive what you're doing.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
I never set out to like figure out the future of news or like I'm gonna do this in journals. No, that was never my goal. It was just these things exist. I kind of want to see what they can do. Is basically just.
I think you've shown us what they can do, and I'm very impressed, especially considering you've spent a tiny amount of money doing this. That's obviously many hours, but a tiny amount of money, and it is fun. It's very fun.
It's fun to me. That's the bottom line. It's just fun. It's fun to mess around with this stuff. So.
Nicholas De Leon is senior electronics reporter at Consumer Reports. Of course, you'll see him on Twit again soon. We love having him on, and I just thought it'd be fun to spend a little time talking about these projects. We never really get to delve into it, and I still feel like we only scratched the surface. You're very productive. I'm impressed as hell. Thank you, Nicholas. Go be on TV.
Yeah, I got a TV hit. Thank you again. I'll speak to you guys soon. Bye.
All right, take care. I'm sorry because I have a feeling Paris Nicholas is headed. Well, I asked him on that Twit. I said, he's been at Consumer Reports for 7 years. I said, how long before somebody comes and snatches you up?
A lot of people at CR have worked here for like 25
he really loves it.
years.
He says, I don't want to leave. He says, no.
It is, I would say most of the people that I interact with on a day-to-day basis have worked there for more than 10 years.
It's a great
and
job.
I'd say a not insignificant amount of the people I interact with on a day-to-day basis have worked there for more than 20 years. It's a good place to work.
Yeah. We are going to take a break. We'll come back in just a bit with. I was remiss. I did not do the rundowns, and actually, I get a lot of help from AI, and I still didn't do the final chore of putting.
I was about to say we got a blank spreadsheet.
Well, if you scroll down, Mr. Jeff Jarvis never sleeps.
Finally, my moment in the sun.
Wait, are we finally going to get Jeff time?
I'm starting to think maybe
after months of
I should just let Jeff do the show. What am I doing?
I was going to say this is actually incredible because despite the fact, so for the listener, we operate off a spreadsheet where we put in our links and stuff like that. For the first like 2 years of my time here, you had a section at the top of Leo, you had a section up top of a million links from Jeff, and we kind of pick and choose from all of them. Sometime I think over the last 6 months or so, when Leo started having AI do his briefings, we got into a very good routine of we're just going to go down Leo's list, but Jeff, who believes in himself, kept putting his 65 links down there regardless, even though we never got to basically any of them every single week.
It's my education.
And now it's Jeff time, baby.
My turn. In Paris, there's a chapter before this. Used to be there was only one rundown, and Leo would put in his stories, and I, not knowing, interfered, and I would add in more stories, and it drove him completely bananas until he finally said, enough. There's my space, and then there's other space.
Oh, that's how we got the separate
how
zone.
I remember it at all, but okay, if you insist. I don't remember that. I thought we were...
No. I remember, but I don't. Was it Jason who came and said, "Leo has another idea about the rundown"?
maybe I said something to Jason. That might make a little bit more sense.
What are all these stories doing in my
What is going
links?
on? I don't want this. We'll take a break. We'll come back. There is a lot of news. I don't know if you got to it all. And some of it's in my head. New models. We're going crazy here.
New business models, new
everything.
Yeah.
People moving upstairs, downstairs, and out the side door.
Yep.
You're watching Intelligent Machines with Jeff Jarvis and Paris Martineau. More in a moment. Our show today brought to you by Monarch. Now, I got to say, I love Monarch. So much so that, I tried it for a while and then I said, this is it. I'm using this from now on. But I got to tell you, my subscription recently, I bought a year, I buy a year every year, and I subscribed and I bought a year, and so my subscription came up, and I thought, well, I really ought to look around and see what's out there. And I literally spent a morning installing all the other guys, and I said, what am I doing? There is nothing as good as Monarch. I love Monarch, so yes, I re-upped. It's the personal finance app that tracks everything: accounts, investments, savings goals, spending. With Monarch, I can feel relieved that my financial picture is the clearest it's ever been. It's so easy. I open the app or go to the website, boom. Not only do I see where I stand right now, but it's kind of like having a financial advisor in your pocket. Most apps focus on what you've already spent, Oh, you spent a lot this month. Monarch, no, they don't do that. It helps you set goals. It helps you plan, map out big purchases, see if you're actually on track before it's too late to adjust, see how you're doing for retirement, that kind of thing. Planning for getting married, college, putting your kids through college. You can ask Monarch's AI assistant anything about your finances, like how much did I spend on travel last summer? Or can I afford this vacation without touching my savings? It will spot things you wouldn't think to look for with its AI insights. Has your spending gone up, or is it just inflation that's costing everything more? Get a heads up on what's happening with your money. You'll even have it that has a great AI weekly recap, which flags spending spikes, net worth shifts, upcoming expenses. Honestly, this is what I would design if I had the time. You don't have to. You got Monarch. Oh, and there's one little thing I just love. It's just a little extra feature they just threw in. Split the check without headache with Monarch's bill split. You scan the receipt in Monarch. Everyone claims what they got. Then you settle up. You don't need a separate app. It's just one more wonderful, I call them quality of life features. Write your own money story with Monarch. Use the code IM at monarch.com to get your first year of Monarch Core half off, just $50. That's 50% off your first year at monarch.com. Don't forget the offer code IM so they know you saw it here. Monarch.com, code IM. Well, it's been a busy week for the models, busy week for me. I have to say, I admit it, I spent a little bit of money this week.
You spending money?
It was like the old days.
It felt like the old days. I miss when you this show used to have a segment that was just what you bought through Instagram
The
ads.
crap I bought
Or
on
or a
Instagram.
game which says, what can we get Leo to buy today?
I did buy this Macintosh clock. It's
That
right there.
seems like something you would buy on Instagram. You know what? You should get one of your little models to start doing a thing where every week it just presents
Just
to you.
buys me something. It
No,
sends
no.
it to me.
Oh, that could actually be interesting. But it could just make 5 to 10 fake Instagram ads for you of wacky products it thinks you would like. You could cut out the middleman of Facebook.
Yeah, just go. I don't need it anymore.
And then have it
yeah.
make them. Yeah.
Well, I really got spooked a little bit. I was both impressed by the advance people were making in open weight models, DeepSeek and others. And a bunch of open weight models came out this week. We'll talk about that in a second. And I also got a little spooked by the RAM crunch, by my inability, for instance, to buy a Macintosh with more than 96 gigs of RAM, which is really not enough to run a lot of these local models. I also got spooked by some of the news stories. You saw the news story yesterday that Anthropic's decided to put tracking code in all of its results.
Why does that spook you?
Why wouldn't it? Do you want tracking code in all of your AI
you mean
results? Even text.
You mean a watermark in text, so that if much
I
like
don't
a
even know how I
watermark
could do it.
No, it's the equivalent of like a watermark in images, where if you then paste the text back into Anthropic, it says yes, an Anthropic.
Yeah, but how would it do
touched
that? Because
this.
I'm copying text and
It's
pasting
going to change
text.
something about the text in a way.
It's
that
writing the
becomes-
text in a
It's going
weird
to change
way.
the meaning too. Yeah, it's
So
weird.
it can be identified. That's not a good thing at all.
No.
It also raises all sorts of specters. Steven
You can thank the
I
EU for that
disagree.
one.
I think that Anthropic has said that their whole goal in this to make there's no noticeable change in the output in terms of quality or words being used, and I think it's a great idea and something that all of the companies should do that you should be able to put a piece of text back into the company's thing and be like, did this come from you? And it could tell you yes or no. It's the exact same that Gemini does with its images, where even if it doesn't have a visible watermark on it, you put that image back into Gemini and it's like, yes, this was processed using
have they said
models.
that's how it's going to work? They've said they'll provide a means that can tell you whether
Yes,
it was produced.
they did. I've got a link in the rundown, if I can find it on my computer screen, that
In my
says
nice,
basically-
well-organized rundown, you can't find it there?
Yes, it's under the section called France,
That makes
which
sense.
is my section, row 221. And it's called How Claude Marks AI Generated Content. And it basically says, we'll help you to detect Claude's marks. We'll support users and other third parties to detect Claude's marks. Marks will apply to output from supported Claude models across Claude Platform, API, Claude, Claude Code, Claude Cowork, and Claude Tag. If we can say the embedded watermarks in text, when a supported Claude model generates text, it weaves an imperceptible watermark directly into the text itself. You won't see it, and it doesn't change the meaning, quality, or readability of Claude's response.
Says Anthropic.
I'm
Says
stunned.
Anthropic.
I am stunned that you think this is a good idea.
Why would it not be?
I'm never using Claude again. What are you talking about?
So you think that the only way you want to use Claude for text output is so that you can pass it off and no one can ever know that you used Claude for text output?
I don't want
This is the
Anthropic.
only thing that it
Where
tells
does this
you.
Calvinism about it was AI helped come from? That, oh my God, it has AI cooties, so we must identify that it has AI cooties.
I just think that we should understand the provenance from where things come. And I think that it's helpful. If you're creating something with a very specific tool and the maker of that tool wants to provide a way for other people to identify it, them's the breaks, buddy.
Well, yeah, it is the breaks. I'm never using Anthropic again. And by the way, I am not alone. Dario, I think, has gone off the deep end in his fight against open weight models.
What? Wait, no.
They
What
are
is your
attempting to
problem
protect-
with this?
Leo,
I don't know where to start.
Yeah, we'll give a disaster scenario for Paris because she's not.
Well, Steven
rocking.
Sinofsky gave a disaster scenario on Twitter. He used to work at Microsoft. He said at one point we thought it'd be a really good idea to put a GUID, global identifier, in all Microsoft Word documents. And what we didn't realize is that people could use it to, track you, to figure out who you are.
This
we
isn't
spent a lot of
that.
time on wait a minute, slow down. We've spent a lot of time talking about how to keep your browser from fingerprinting you. This is exactly that.
It has nothing to do with you personally. All it says, it's a simple yes or no. It says this may have been processed by Claude, or this does not show signs that it was processed by Claude. Those are the two options. I think that that's a fine data signal to have. What is the big deal if suddenly all the text you output using Claude could return a signal that says
Paris,
this may have been processed by
What
Claude?
if one of your sources says, I'm not a very good writer, I'm going to try to provide an explanation of what's going on in this scandal to Paris Martineau because she will uncover this, but I'm going to use Claude to write this up. And then it goes to you, and you don't know there's a watermark in there, like...
I would never publish the text that someone else sent me.
Well, but you wouldn't even know because it's text. And the Reality Winner story was that there was something hidden in the text there.
That's right.
And Reality Winner went to
Printers do
jail
this,
for
by the
5
way.
years as a result. Now,
in Reality Winner's case, it was something that specifically identified the user ID and name of the person who printed it. This is not that.
Well, we don't know what we don't know what data.
We do
what's
because
subpoenable. What can be subpoenaed by the authorities? If the authorities say this text, and you wouldn't publish it, but if you quote from it, let's say you just have to do a block quote of this, you don't know it's got in there, and they're saying that even if you cut and paste this, it's still in there. And so then the government comes along, the DOJ, and puts it into Claude, and it says yes, and then they go to Claude, they say, we're going to subpoena you this, who did this, when, and where, and you are not even aware as a reporter that was in there. Does that freak you out?
Not at all. I don't think that you're describing what Anthropic has said they've done. It's simply was this processed by Claude? Or they don't even say this was processed by Claude. They say the signals are this may have been
that's not
processed
good either.
by Claude, or this may have not. Well,
then they could be besmutzing some poor student who did the work and actually did write it, but Claude says, "Oh yeah, that looks like ours," and the student gets kicked out of school because Claude made a mistake.
That's also not what they're saying. They're saying
my advice, if we can stop now, Paris, my advice is no one should ever again use an Anthropic product. They're doing this because the EU demands it.
So let's blame
by the way,
EU.
the only ones responding to the EU this way, although I imagine OpenAI is going to do it, one of the reasons that really convinced me to move to local models is exactly this. These are nightmare scenarios, and I'm sorry you don't see the potential disaster for this. I really wonder, somebody raises this in our Club Twit Discord, if this will be done with enterprise products, because in many cases, this would absolutely be a problem for enterprise. And of course, that's Anthropic's entire business.
The EU is, I think, requiring it across the board.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Anyway, we can debate its merits. There are those of us who do not like the idea of a fingerprint in our content, whether it's on our printed page.
So one more second here, Paris. Defend the, if you will, the societal reason for having the watermark.
I think that if you are using a tool to create writing, and other people want to know whether you used a tool to generate writing that you're passing off as your own, having a thing out there that just says aspects of this contain the sign that some words in this were processed by me, the company that made this, is fine. It's not a privacy issue. It has nothing to do with your identity. It just shows the factual truth.
Well, you just care that there's a signal
I think it's a useful signal to have. If, in your example, a source passed me off a document and claimed it was theirs, and I put it through this and found out that it was generated by Claude, that'd be incredibly useful information for me to have, that person was passing me off a fake document.
No, who says it was? Wait right there. Who says it was fake at all? I used this to help me write it. I'm a bad writer. I had to get help.
That would not be useful to me.
I decided at the end. I went over every word of it.
That would be considered fake because I would not want a document. The usefulness to me of getting a document from a source is that it comes from
the source went over word by word and says this expresses exactly what happened in this case and exactly what I wanted to say. And I'm glad it helped me write this. I used Grammarly to get the commas right, and I used this to help me write this. And I put it off. And then you're now going to reject it.
I think Grammarly might have to do this according to the EU.
I just think that
I agree. If it doesn't identify you, it only says this was made by Claude. It's less of a problem. I'm very concerned.
No one has said it identifies you.
But we don't know. We don't know whether
the description of it does not indicate that it does this.
We don't know what data they maintain.
Trustworthy. I don't trust them farther than I can throw them. Anyway, no, I'm just saying you made your point. It's a good point. We disagree. Moving on.
Trying to get both sides expressed.
Yeah. Let's see what else is going on. More models are coming out like crazy. Glimmer, you wanted to use Glimmer, Jeff, locally. You wanted to run it from Meta. I tried it briefly.
Oh, you did try it. Okay, yeah, tell about it. Well, you were going to tell Leo, you were starting down the pike. I want to hear about you and Glimmer, but you were starting down the pike of describing your purchase. Or do you want to get to that later?
I don't know. I'm afraid if I tell Paris, she's going to yell at me. So maybe we'll pretend
Dude,
I don't use
know
AI.
why you think
everything I do
Leo,
is
me
human
having
made.
a basic criticism. Not even me having a basic criticism, me supporting a feature an AI company has released this week does not mean that you can't talk about AI on our podcast about AI. I use AI. I co-host a show with you about AI. We can talk about it, and you can talk about it.
Okay. Yeah, I don't really
talk about Glimmer. Talk about Glimmer.
Can you talk about your thing that you just bought that you wanted to tell us about? Why?
Really don't want to talk about it.
I've been dying to hear about it.
I don't want to be mocked, and I have a feeling that's what would happen.
I'm not going to mock you. Please talk about it.
No, you wanted to run models at a higher rate.
Hi, mock me. So I really did feel that it more and more important to, if you can, to run your own models. I was concerned that that is going to become harder and harder to do. This is another example of that is, if you're running an open weight model that doesn't have a watermark in it, the EU might say, oh, I don't know what the EU could do about it, frankly. I don't know what the U.S. government could do about it. I don't know what the Chinese government could do about it. The interesting thing is and I thought I would be using a local model. I bought some hardware to run the local model. I upgraded my gaming PC from a 10 gigabyte, very old, 5-year-old video card, the 3070, to an RTX 3090, which is almost, I think it is as old, but it has 24 gigabytes. It allows me to run one of the Chinese models, Qwen. It's a very good model, 3.5. Now, 3.8 has been announced, and I hope will be downloadable at the end of the week. They announced 3.8 Max, which I had been using for a while, as an open weight download today, this morning. They will do 3.8 smaller model, 27B, on Friday, they say. That would run in that 3090, I hope. Certainly their older version of that does, and runs quite well, quite fast. So that's nice. That's for quick inference. But I also wanted to I was hoping to run something more substantial. I thought I had been using DeepSeek's V4 Flash for a while. I was very, very impressed by it. Turns out you can't run it in a single DGX Spark. Now, these are not cheap machines. These are $4,000 each. They are basically headless computers designed to do one thing.
Do they come with a set amount of RAM?
128 gigs of RAM. Unified RAM, and it's a Blackwell GPU in it. So it isn't by any means like a 6000 or even a 5090. It's not. It's a little bit slow. It's not a super machine, but it is big enough to host a larger model. And they have on the back of it a 200 gigabit connector port. And if you buy two of them and you buy the cable, they can be paired to run an even larger model. And DeepSeek V4 Flash will run but it needs two of them. So I thought, well, that's probably what I want to run. I like it. It's good. There's going to be a DeepSeek V4 Pro coming soon. These open weight models, you want to run as big a model. I thought you want to run as big a model as you can locally, because that's going to be your main model. What I did before I ordered these, I spent a long time agonizing about this, and I finally spent some money out of my savings to do it. I guess I'm glad I did, but a funny thing happened on the way to the Sparks. I set them up last night. Qwen's running nicely. I have the Mac 64 gig Mac Mini, which is running Whisper Large. It's very nice, very fast, and I was hoping to not do coding with it. I still think I'll probably need to use a frontier model for the bigger coding projects like the Twit sales system that I've been working on. But I was hoping to use my agent Hermes with a local model entirely, especially when it's doing things like financial and health information. I'd like to keep those things to myself. Now, it's not a good economic decision. It's so cheap to run DeepSeek on a server, whether it's a Chinese server or an American server like OpenCode, that it really doesn't make sense in any financial sense. It's purely for autonomy and for privacy. And now that Anthropic's doing what it's doing, that's why I let off with it.
And you could learn the limits of it not being connected to the mothership.
Yes.
And how it operates, which I think is really interesting.
Yeah. In fact, of late, DeepSeek seems to not be as good as it was a couple of days ago. And I think I was running it through the Chinese DeepSeek servers, the official servers, and I think they have been so bandwidth constrained. They've already said, we're going to raise prices a lot. They've been so bandwidth constrained that they can't serve the people who want to use it. And as a result, you get less of a model. So if you're running it locally, you're going to get at least a consistent result, as long as you can afford the power. The nice thing about the Nvidia Sparks, they're very low power. They're comparable to a Mac Mini. So they're not. And
Leo, by the way, asked his models to give him a report.
Well, and I have actually a dashboard. I can look at currently the Mojo model, which is the Qwen model, is running full bore because I'm having it analyze a code base. This is what it's very good at. Analyzing a code base, making what's called a graph out of the code base to save energy when the coding models are looking at it, and you can see it's at 96%. It's 75 degrees centigrade. It's using 350 watts of power. It's using a lot of power. That's almost the entire power budget. Total power budget for the 3 machines right now is 366 watts. So the Sparks aren't using very much power. And that's one of the other advantages of them. They're fairly inexpensive to run. Now, so I thought I'm going to run Flash, and I got a recipe. But I thought I should also test some of these other
Which Flash?
models.
Who's Flash?
DeepSeek V4 Flash.
DeepSeek, okay.
I thought I should test some of these other open models. So I had the other agents, mostly Fable and Sol, create a harness of benchmark tests. They created 7 word problems and the kinds of things that trip up AI, I need to wash my car, should I walk or drive kind of question. Those turned out to be too easy. All the local models I tested about half a dozen of them, all got those all right. But it had a second tranche of problems, which I thought were a good idea, which is stuff we've struggled with over the last few weeks of coding. Stuff the other models got wrong or mistakes they could have made. And I ran that by them, and they solved all of them as well. They were very good. And the winner, when I finally gave it the hardest problems of all, was not DeepSeek V4 Flash. So I tested Nematron, DeepSeek Flash, Qwen 3.5, GLM 5.2, OpenAI's GPT OSS. I think it's 20B, not 120B. A Minimax model. I tested also what's called an obliterated model of DeepSeek V4 Flash, so it can't say no.
Wait, what do you mean?
Well,
what does obliterated mean? Obliterated, is that specifically what it means? It's not obliterated. It's obliterated.
It's obliterated, which is not a real word. It's jailbroken. It's actually a Pliny the Liberator's word for a jailbroken. But
and it's jailbroken in what way? What are they?
Many models
removing?
have. The Chinese model specifically, for instance, if you ask about Tiananmen Square, will say, "What? Nothing happened then. Nothing. What are you talking about?" So it also will reject.
So it turns off the guardrails, or you think you turn off the guardrails?
And one of the guardrails that concerns me considerably, both Fable and ChatGPT Sol 5.6 Sol have been very much locked down by these companies that are terrified of the Trump administration. Remember, Fable got pulled for weeks. OpenAI is holding Astra back because it doesn't want the government to say, you can't release these models, they're dangerous. So they often have cybersecurity, they have classifiers, but even within the models, they have holes where I'm not going to do any cybersecurity research. I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that, because they don't want to get in trouble with the government. So an obliterated model, in theory, doesn't reject what you ask of it. It does. In truth, that's probably also nerfing it to some degree. It's making it a little bit stupider. In any event, I wanted to try it, so I have a DeepSeek V4 Flash that's obliterated. After running the tests, I was shocked that NVIDIA's model, which runs on a single Spark, is easily the best, certainly the fastest, more than twice as fast as Flash, 3 times as fast as Qwen, and made no mistakes.
And it's an open weight model.
It's an open weight model from Nvidia. Now, this is when they just
released. Is this the new Nematron? This is a new one, okay.
This is the new one, Nematron Lightning, they call it. And I was kind of stunned at how good it is. I'm running it right now locally on Hermes. But
why were you stunned, kind of?
Well, first of all, it's a lot smaller. It's half the size. I thought
NVIDIA's good, folks.
I thought DeepSeek Flash would do better. Well, NVIDIA is good on NVIDIA's hardware.
Exactly.
Which may be its secret sauce. I don't know. The Nematron models are surprisingly good. So I did say, but now we should test it with harder problems, including coding, and it failed miserably at coding. I mean, it literally... It was close to dumb in coding. Here's the result. Hard fail. By the way, it's Nematron grading Nematron, ironically. It gave it a problem where to refactor some Python code, but it did a bunch of things, just dumb things. It clearly is not a good coding model, which is okay because I anticipated I'd probably be doing coding somewhere else. But What I want is a good agentic model, and it seems like it is a good agentic model. But there's also a lesson here. A, that these open weight models are getting better fast. B, they're like all AI, spiky. They're good at some things, not so good at other things. And C, I shouldn't have bought 2 Sparks.
How did you get 2 Sparks? Are they having the same sort of? Are they just having the same sort of? They're not having the same.
They haven't changed
crunch.
the price. Well, this was what concerned me. They haven't changed the price since they announced them, and my feeling is they probably built 10,000 of them or whatever, and then once they've sold them all, then it'll be.
It was like a high-end Chromebook. Who's going to buy it? It's a very specific hobby.
They'll be done. And so I was very afraid that if I didn't buy it now, it might be that RAM is, you just cannot get RAM for love or money at this point. And RAM's one of the things you really need. You need fast cards. So
why do you think that these haven't sold out then?
Depends on how they're made.
They're very expensive.
I mean, if you're going to run, let me ask this question then, to go to Parrot's question. If you're a small company wanting to run models, are there cheaper things to use than?
Not really.
Sparks? No.
Not, well, again, you got to pay a certain amount of money. Honestly, if you were a small company, I wouldn't even buy Sparks. I'd buy something in the $100,000 range.
Yeah. Well, what
You're a small company.
Well, not so small, but companies, if you want local inference because you want to protect your company's proprietary information or privacy,
that's worth something.
That's worth something to you.
Well, the machine you built that you were using before was what?
It was a gaming rig I bought from Dell, an Alienware gaming rig.
No, the other one.
The framework.
The framework.
It's fine.
Thank you.
But
so how much was that?
It's not CUDA. That was about the same. It was $3,500.
Okay.
I had hoped that would last me, and it is. It's still the heart. It's still the server. It's running everything. The models are running headless on these 3 other machines, and then they connect into the agent, which is running on the framework.
Could you run Nematron on the framework?
No, it can't run on the framework.
Because it doesn't have CUDA as a OS? Okay. So it sounds like it's worthwhile to have gotten the
and I keep saying to Quicksilver, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have bought those other Sparks. I said, don't say that, Leo. You're so smart. No, it didn't say that. It said, well, remember, that's today. Tomorrow, V4 Pro might come out. Tomorrow, there'll be new models that may well require all of that. But what's really interesting is Nematron Lightning runs quite well on a single Spark. And I think very impressive. So that's the point. Now, interestingly, Elon came out with, as Nicholas said, today with Grok 4.6, which he was touting on X, all that. Did you see a lot of stories about it? I didn't. Everybody was waiting for the 6:30 a.m. Pacific time drop of Quen. Nobody was waiting for 4.6 or even cared, which is ironic because Grok's actually pretty good. Grok 4.6 is even better. But people just don't want to use it. After the Mecha Hitler, they just don't want to use it. So it's a good time to be using local models, I guess is the point. Glimmer, the meta models, about what you'd expect. What I'm glad to see, it's very important to mention, is Meta hadn't put out a local model in years. They started the local model trend with Llama. And really seeded that whole industry. And so I'm glad to see them back at the table.
Yeah, it was fascinating to see Jan LeCun all over social media. It's like good grasshopper, praising Zuckerberg and Meta for sticking with open.
Yeah. And as I mentioned, they opened the Meta glasses. I think Mark Zuckerberg, I think what it is an admission, much like Google's admission, we'll talk about that in a second, that they are not in the race, really. And maybe they better find another way to justify their billions and billions of dollars they've spent on AI.
How are your glasses hacking going?
Oh, I haven't hacked them. I haven't worked on that yet. Partly because I'm waiting for better glasses. I really don't want to wear these around. I'd have to put real optical.
They have cute ones now.
I know, but I have to put good lenses in them. It'd be hundreds of bucks. Yeah, no, I'm not wearing Kim Kardashian Kylie Jenner's glasses.
They look kind of cute.
You should.
It could be a lot.
I don't want to get beaten up by my friends
in Brooklyn.
I also just have no interest in the features that they offer. But
yeah, well, that's right. because you'd have cameras walking around with cameras in them.
I mean, I
Your
carry
friends would
both a
be.
camera in my pocket and I have a physical camera. I don't need a third camera.
Yeah.
And I've also been transitioning away from wearing glasses.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Oh, you're going to be all contacts all the time?
I got
I like it.
contacts.
Are you
I got a
getting, are
year's
they getting more
worth.
comfortable?
I mean, yeah, they've been very
Nice.
comfortable since the first week or so.
Oh, good. Yeah, because I know you were.
I mean, I used to wear
contacts.
contacts all the time growing up.
So it wasn't a new thing.
No, it's the new thing for me as someone who wore contacts, all through grade school and stuff, is now they have dailies that are cheap. And that's the thing
That's
that
what I
everyone
wear.
gets. I used to wear monthlies always
You don't have
because that
to
was the only
remember
option.
You had to clean them. And
Yeah, you have to
Yeah,
clean them and store them. Now I'm
My
just
mother- my
out
sister
and
used to put them in
about,
her mouth.
just plopping them
No.
out everywhere.
Do not put them in your mouth. Yeah, now you just throw them out.
Yeah.
Just go, I'm done with these. I'm done with you. We're going to take a break. Anyway, it's an interesting time to be local. And I
Wait,
still...
real quick, Leo. I have one question about your setup. Like, do you have a photo of
Benito
it? Is it-
Gonzalez. Yes, sir.
Is it like a 90s hacker aesthetic you have going on over there? Or is it all in a closet?
It's kind of a 90s hacker aesthetic. Let me put it this way. If the popo come knocking at the door, I'm throwing everything in the microwave oven and climbing out the back. No, I'm kidding. That's a Mr. Robot reference. Yeah, it kind of has that aesthetic. There's a lot of screens, a lot of machines. It's beastly hot in here, 86 degrees.
Jesus Christ.
It's only 81 outside, but air conditioning just can't control what's going on in this office. Mostly it's because of this Mojo, the 3090 churning really hard. It's good. It's a 4-hour job it's actually kind of cool. I found a project that takes your code base, makes a graph out of it to speed up the frontier models looking at your code base. They look at the graph instead of the code base, and it's much faster. So I'm actually pretty excited about that. And this is where a local model is great. I'm not using any tokens or anything. I'm doing this all locally, and it's pretty fast.
I want to hear a little bit about the business model here. So you talked about
Well,
Meta.
hold on. Let me do it.
Okay,
Speaking
all right,
of business
do a
models,
All right.
we do have one. Hard to believe. And again, I want to emphasize, I actually just got a check from the IRS for exactly that amount of money. And I thought, that's a sign. Lisa says, don't cash that check. They're going to want it back. I said, no, they said I overpaid 3 years ago and they gave me my money back.
Jeez.
Right?
She said, they did that to me. And then a year later, they said, oh, our mistake. Can we get it back? Otherwise, we want interest. No, I think they said, if you pay us right away, we won't charge you all that
Oh,
interest.
how nice of them.
How nice of them. So I may be spending funny money, but I'm not. I don't make enough to do this. This is dipping into my children's inheritance. But it's almost a political thing. I feel like I really need to do this. Plus, it's fun to have it local and have it be my own.
You're in control. I think that's
My little guy.
so much where the future is going.
It's
that
also
for you
part of
all
my
people
job.
to know
I mean,
where it's going. Yeah.
I got to try all these. I mean, it's nice that I can benchmark these models locally and see and so forth. I am still looking for a good coding local model. I don't think they exist. I think you still have to go out to the real world. Our show today, anyway, we'll be back. More intelligent machines coming up. It's the Jeff Jarvis rundown. Actually, I should let you just run the show, Jeff.
No.
This is your rundown.
No. It's not a democracy.
Well, it is today since I didn't do my job. Our show today, Jeff Jarvis, Paris Martineau, great to have you. Our show today brought to you by Helix Sleep. Oh, man, it's hot, right? Those hot August nights, what do they call them? The dog days of summer. It's making it hard to get restful sleep, right? Well, it doesn't have to be. Instead of tossing and turning, you could upgrade, as we did a year ago, last August, to a Helix mattress and reclaim your rest. With Helix, you can say goodbye to night sweats, say goodbye to back pain, no motion transfer. Don't settle for overseas mattresses made with questionable materials. Your Helix mattress is assembled, packaged, and shipped right from Arizona within days of your order, so you could start sleeping better, faster. You can also take the Helix Sleep Quiz, which will match you with the perfect mattress based on your personal preferences and sleep needs. And I can tell you, it really works from my own experience, but also because Helix did a Wesper sleep study. They measured participants' sleep performance after doing exactly what we did, switching from their old mattress to a Helix mattress. Interestingly, the results in the study were very, very close to my own personal story. 82% of participants saw an increase in their deep sleep cycle. Mine doubled. Participants on average achieved 25 more minutes of deep sleep per night. And for most people, that is on the order of 50 to 100% more. Participants on average achieve 39 more minutes of overall sleep per night. You sleep better, you wake up better. Time and time again, Helix Sleep has been named the most awarded mattress brand, tested and reviewed by experts like Forbes and Wired. Helix delivers your mattress right to your door with free shipping in the U.S., and you can rest easy with seamless returns and exchanges. The Happy with Helix guarantee provides a risk-free customer-first experience so that you are completely satisfied with your new mattress. So go to helixsleep.com/machines for 20% off site-wide during the Labor Day early access. That's helixsleep.com/machines for 20% off site-wide. Make sure you enter our show name after checkout so they know we sent you. This offer ends August 13th. And if you're listening after the sale ends, you could still check them out at helixsleep.com/machines. We thank them so much for their support of intelligent machines. Yeah, more models just around the corner. But good on Nvidia. It proves that we don't have to use Chinese local models.
Nvidia started the letter that now I think 250 companies have signed in favor of open weight. Everybody.
And by the way, Mark Zuckerberg also wrote a long piece on
6,500 words. I had to have it read it to me because I was not going to spend my time.
But he was in support of open weights as well.
Yes,
I didn't read it either, but that's what I understand.
So you just explored Meta's model is kind of okay. We're behind. We catch the llama breeze again. See what's what. Nvidia's model for this. I mean, he generally says the more people use AI, the more they need the chips, the better.
Yeah,
what do his customers think of this?
He doesn't make money. I know what you're saying. Yeah, he doesn't make money selling inference. He sells money selling inference engines, right?
Yes.
So making a model that you will use his hardware better than anybody else is great. But I understand what you're saying. Doesn't that piss off all the people who are buying NVIDIA GPUs?
But they need him too badly. I mean,
yeah, they can't. What else are they going to do?
They're not going to piss him off.
He has a monopoly. There is no other choice. I mean, the Chinese are choosing other hardware from Huawei and Xiaomi because they have to, because they can't, in theory, they can't legally buy NVIDIA's chips. But everybody else is snapping them up as fast as they can make them. So I guess he feels like he can do this. I also think he's not really threatened. I mean, as good as Nematron Lightning is, it isn't Claude Code. It isn't, Fable or even Opus 4.8 or 4.5 even. It's just, it's a good agentic harness. The fact that it failed so badly at coding is a good example. Glimmer is not bad. Glimmer's pretty good. It's not bad. It's not good enough that I would make it my full-time model, but
so
it'll
here's
run
my
on a
question.
64 gig Mac pretty snappable.
Yeah, it said you can actually run it on less, but
I don't know what the minimum is. Yeah. There is in general a relationship between model size and performance.
But here's my question, because I keep on trying to think, because I'm an idiot about this stuff, about the retail level of this. You still have to go to you have to install it with terminal window and all that, right? Glimmer. Who is anyone going to make a locally run AI model as easy to install as an app?
Well, that's an interesting question because, of course, all these companies are doing their own apps, Perplexity Computer.
But those call to the mothership.
They call to the mothership, and they're hoping that's what people will want and use. I think the really interesting challenge is enterprise at this point because businesses are maybe sometimes legally constrained and certainly want to be private and don't want to send all their proprietary information to a frontier model. So they have to go out and pay a lot for private compute. And of course, all the big companies will sell that to you through AWS or Microsoft or anybody else. It's very expensive, but it's what they want.
Paris, do you see any as a consumer? Do you see any need? And as a
Would you
reporter
like
who cares
an
about
AI appliance? Yeah.
would you like an AI appliance? Would it be worthwhile to you? Muted.
I mean, to preface, my response is not informed by me hating or disliking AI. But to respond, whenever I have had appliances that are connected to the internet in some way, that connection ends up being one of the immediate points of failure. It is like some update that goes poorly, or a new update that's ported over that doesn't allow me to use bootlegged ink for my printer or things like that. There are just, I think whenever in my experience, or whenever I am getting an appliance that is internet connected, it has never satisfied me in the same way as a good old fashioned brand that had worked for 20 years prior. But I guess if there's an AI appliance that has longevity and is buy it for life, in addition to being AI, and the AI provides some sort of use, that would be useful.
Yeah, I don't think these companies really incented to. They really like, and this is what all technology companies learned. It's much better to rent than to sell.
Yeah,
Microsoft
I don't want
Apple
to rent
they want
a laundry
subscriptions.
machine as a service.
Right. This the chat room's reminding me there are a number of programs like this. Jan is one of them. That is it's an app you download and will let you run local models. I mean, the problem is you're going to be unhappy when you run a local model on anything less than a 128 gig Mac or more.
Yeah.
That's the problem. And people can't get these big machines anymore. By the way, this is Mac, Windows, and Linux. And I tried it. I did a lot of these, LM Studio and things like that. And as my first, I did all, I worked my way up very much like Nicholas did. You start with a chat bot and you kind of get more into it and you work your way up. I just don't know. At the same time, you're seeing companies, OpenAI says we have 1 billion users. Google just said we have 1 billion users for Gemini. I suspect they're including all the people using AI overviews against their will, but people are interested in it. I don't know.
So I think there's an opportunity here for a retail scaled level of AI. When people understand that they can make an agent without geeking out, and it can do what they want it to do, and they want it to be local, and they want it to be private, and they don't want to pay constantly. They're tired of subscriptions all around. They hate paying subscriptions for entertainment, and they have to pay it for AI too.
I wouldn't be surprised in 2 years if Nvidia doesn't sell a machine in the $1,000 to $2,000 range. It runs a local model. It's all ready to go. You plug it in. They have an app on your phone. They have an app for all your operating systems that connect through that model, and you put it in a closet. I think that's within 2 years for sure.
Since it's my rundown today, I see a transition here to Tim O'Reilly's speculation about what Google's up to with its reorganization.
He calls it the Westinghouse Bet. This was I mentioned there were two pivots. One is Microsoft saying, yeah, I guess we lost, so we'll do something else. To some degree, Google's saying, yeah, we're not going to be a frontier model.
Maybe I think it's reading a little too much into saying they're giving up there, but they do see a different opportunity.
Here, I'll tell you before we get to Tim's much more astute analysis. I think my sense of it is Google's trying to put an arrow in the sand in the distance.
Yeah,
skating to where the puck is going, saying, you know what? Okay, we missed the boat on coding, but you know what's going to be the next big thing? Curing cancer. Making vaccines, making new medicines. So let's aim for that, and let's take our smartest mind, Demis Hassibis, away from day-to-day operations at DeepMinds and put him in charge of Discovery Loop, which is their health lab. So that was my sense. Now,
that's one puck ahead.
Well,
one arrow.
Why would they, if that was their focus, why would they dissolve one of the labs that was working on this? Wasn't that what we reported like a week
But I think that's
before?
the spin out, isn't it? Basically, it becomes the spin out instead.
No, but all those people went to Gemini.
Well, some of them went to the spin out, which is going to do just that. right?
I apologize. Jeff Dean went to Discovery Loop. That's his startup. That's a big loss. Jeff Dean was like Google employee number 30.
Well, but that's what Paris is asking.
So that's
why
different.
wouldn't you keep that in the company? Or is the
If
fact that
that's
Jeff
gonna be
Dean
your
Well, he
focus.
left. And he probably left because he wasn't appreciated. I don't know why.
I mean,
he
yeah,
left.
that suggests
Google's
that
investing
it's
in it.
not focusing a lot of time and effort into that being its differentiating factor.
Well, so, but Sundar Pichai's announcement said we're promoting Demis, right? So what does Tim O'Reilly say about
Well, Tim O'Reilly is arguing something different. He's more arguing a Westinghouse model that in the age of steam-powered machines, you had a huge steam machine and belts would power every single thing in the building. And then along comes electricity and you had a huge electric motor that did the same thing. And Westinghouse said, no, we can distribute that. And you can get lots of little, as long as we get the electricity to you, we can get lots of little electric engines all over doing all this kinds of work, wherever it is. You don't have to be next to anything. Isn't that better? And that's what he thinks Google is trying to do, given that it's a consumer company and it has all of these structures of distribution and advertising and such in place, that it becomes the distribution company for AI. So I think that's what I'm reading into what Tim is saying. And Cecile Tamura in Facebook, who does great summaries of this thing, she did a very good summary of it, which I also have in the rundown. I think that's. I don't think Google's given up on Frontier. I don't think they've given up on science either, Paris, though I think you raise a really good question, is why did they dismantle their Nobel-winning division? But I do think that the puck they're seeing ahead of them is saying that frontiers are going to be commodities, and we can get AI in the hands of more people than anybody else.
They already have a foot in the door with Apple, remember?
Yep.
Apple's going to put Gemini in 1.5 billion pockets. So Tim says, the analysts are probably right. Google gave something up on August 5th, but possibly wrong about why. It's hard, keep talking about how opaque these companies are. We just really don't know what's going on. I don't think bringing Sergey Brin in is necessarily a move for the better. I don't know.
He's been heavily involved for the last 18 months or so in their AI efforts.
Yeah. I don't know. It's an interesting, we can only speculate. This is the problem. We can only speculate about what Mark Zuckerberg's thinking, what Dario Amode's thinking. Although Sam Altman's thinking, although you got to judge people by their actions. And that's I guess where I'm judging them. What else is going on? Let's see here. Jeff, it's your rundown.
Well,
It's Jeff time.
Let's talk about the hockey puck, the mechanical hockey puck, or as I call it, the mechanical donut. OpenAI, this is a Mark Gurman leak from Bloomberg. Gurman says OpenAI's first hardware device will be released next year. It is a donut-shaped smart speaker, no display, with mechanical movements inside. This is so Johnny Ive. It's coming out of his love from design firm. Mechanical devices inside to make you think it's thinking, to make you feel like something's happening instead of it just sitting there, which is probably why it's going to cost $200 to $300.
What
makes no sense.
What does that mean? What are they?
A thinking donut.
The circle, this is what Mark writes. The circle-shaped device will include parts that move on their own, according to the people in the know, that will help show when it's responding and interacting with the user. The goal is to make the object feel more alive than today's stationary speaker products. Actually,
I love that OpenAI paid so much to get Jony Ive, and basically what he came up with is, what if we do a smart speaker like everybody else? But it's not going to be just like everybody else's. Ours is going to move so it feels different. And they're like, wow, that was a lot of money well spent. Great idea.
And Paris, you can carry it from room to room because it's a donut. You can put your finger in it.
I kind of understand what they're thinking, because every time I've been designing, like I have this ESP32, when I design these things, it wakes up to, hey, Quicksilver, I have to put different things on the screen so I know, A, it heard me, and then it flips over to another screen, it's thinking, and then a final screen when it's speaking so that I understand what state it's in. Otherwise, it just sits there. And
well, isn't it the new Android phones, is the Pixel 11 is going to basically do that, the Pixel, what do we call it? Yeah, Pixel 11.
Yes. Well,
they're going to use the color bar to let you notify you of that. Yes, I heard you.
Right. And actually, that's kind of what Apple's doing with Siri. The new Siri has a little blob that hovers, and then you could see it's hearing what I'm saying because it's responding to that. Then when I stop talking, it's thinking. And then, so you have to kind of...
Sounds like animated blob avatar, Microsoft Copilot. It floats on the screen, changes shape and color to show that the assistant is listening and processing your voice. Are you using Microsoft Copilot, or is this happening on a different app?
Yeah, you dummy, it's happening on you. That's the new Siri. And so I understand you need some interaction cues. I don't know. This is a rumor. The product, according to, again, the rumor, will have speaker grills and a microphone for fielding commands and conversing with users. Ooh, what an innovation. It's battery powered, which means you can carry it around. This is also battery powered. I don't have a battery on it right now, but, and it's, by the way, a $60 ESP32 device, but I'm just putting one on every floor so I can talk.
It says it has a camera system.
It has a camera
Do you think that
in it?
It says a camera system and other sensors, meanwhile, will perceive the surrounding environment and feed visual information into the AI.
That's a deal breaker, ladies.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
My little donut that has little clunky robot parts has not just one camera, but a camera system.
That's interesting. I missed that. Okay. Well.
Also, moving parts means it can be broken easily.
I was going to say that's the first thing
Yes.
I thought, Benito.
Yes.
I was like, those moving parts mean that's going to get caught on stuff so quick. Stuff's going to get in there.
Your cat's going to tear it apart.
Oh, the cat's going to know something's going on, man. There's something in there.
I got a new vacuum this week, and Gizmo is both terrified and really trying to assert her dominance over it.
Is it a robot vacuum or is it a...
No, I didn't get a robot vacuum. I don't have the floor. I've got too many things on my floor to have a robot vacuum. I got a canister vacuum, which I'm right now experiencing vacuum mania, which is where you get a new vacuum, and especially a new type of vacuum.
You do work
and
for
suddenly,
Consumer Report.
I mean, yes, but now I'm just vacuuming everything like crazy, and I feel energized by it because it's a new vacuum.
Did you
Get
one
it
of
in the
those-
auction?
I didn't. He's talking about it's currently the CR auction, which is a wonderful employee perk at Consumer Reports, where a couple times a year we do like an employee, friends, and family like auction for stuff we've tested. And I was holding out for the CR auction to get a new vacuum, but I knew I wanted a canister vacuum, and I guess we didn't test it. None of the ones we've tested are in this batch, so I just got a basic kind of Kenmore, but I'm gonna try. I got a kind of lower end model for what I was expecting to pay because I wanted to see if I want to live the canister vacuum lifestyle as a former stick vacuum person. And if I do, then I'll maybe spring for a meow.
See, I always, if I were going to get a canister vacuum, I'd get a Henry. The ones, they have little faces on them and the nose is the vacuum hose that comes out.
I mean, that's a great idea. I should get two big googly eyes and put it on it.
You could make it a Henry.
That'll really freak the cat.
They actually have a Henry and they have a Hetty. I didn't know this. It's a British company. And they're only 149 pounds. So I just think, pareidolia. Everything looks like a face to me. Wait a minute. Does that vacuum have eyelashes?
That's beautiful.
Isn't it?
It looks like it's plotting something.
It does look like it's up to
It's
something.
looking up and to the right, like it's...
It's looking at you as you vacuum.
Oh, that's fun. It's coy about it.
If a vacuum doesn't work, I guess Larry says you can't say it sucks.
You can't. But
It doesn't suck, which means it doesn't work.
So back to the rundown.
Yes.
The Nvidia $500 billion fund. I also found fascinating. They tied together a whole bunch of money to help companies buy NVIDIA's chips, which NVIDIA was doing on its own before. But now they've gotten this huge debt market in there. And the problem, the Wall Street Journal explained, was that companies couldn't afford to buy the chips. So NVIDIA needs to give them the money to buy the chips, which is circular.
I don't
now
get
it's
that at
outside
all.
money. Now it's outside money. But NVIDIA still has skin in the game.
They both
In
book
that-
it as income, don't they?
And if the company defaults, well, NVIDIA gets hurt to an extent by that, but then somebody else is going to pick up the chips. There's a constant market for chips. You'd buy used chips in a second.
Well, that's one of the reasons I didn't mind buying those Sparks, because they're only going to go up in value. They're not going to go down, right?
Well, for at least a year or so.
If in a few months I go, boy, that was a dumb thing, I just sell them, and I'm sure I at least get my money back. What's interesting is this $9 billion deal is with Bitcoin miners.
This is another deal. Yeah, different.
Oh, this is a different one.
It's a different. Yeah. The Nvidia is a debt market of $500 billion to
I see. So
securitize
this is part of that. I
chips.
get it.
To securitize chips, so that just as when United doesn't buy the jet, an entity buys the jet and leases it to United. Now, basically, you have a mechanism to securitize chips. Now, the journal argues that the problem is that chips have a short shelf life because the next chip comes out and then everybody wants that chip. But it's not as if these chips are going to become useless. They still have value in the marketplace. And so that's that story. The separate story is that Anthropic did a deal to buy server capacity from a Bitcoin company because Bitcoin, well, it's not today's thing.
Yeah, when I bought this RTX 3090, I bought it used on eBay. And I'm going to bet that it probably was part of a Bitcoin mining rig that got disassembled and sold out for parts. I was a little nervous it might be kind of on its last legs, but it seems to be, it's doing pretty well. It's chugging away over there. It's putting a little heat out, but otherwise it's survived. It's working.
So Ben,
supplying 191 megawatts of computing, enough to power roughly 143,000 homes at any given moment.
That Bitcoin deal?
Yeah.
Wow.
To make nothing, to make bits.
Yeah. So Ben Thompson says that the Nvidia deal is like the railroads of the Gilded Age.
Did they make the same kinds of loans?
Yeah, there was a lot of money out there. I don't necessarily agree with Ben on this, but
he says in 1864, Congress created the Northern Pacific Railway Company. Congress did this because they wanted to link the Great Lakes and Puget Sound with tracks that would run from Duluth to Tacoma, all the way from the Midwest across to the West Coast. Which, as you could see, I mean, that's something a government should invest in. That's good for, the polity. The charter included 40 million acres of land adjacent to the proposed line in exchange for the build-out. For 6 years, they struggled to secure financing, even as the Union Pacific and Central Pacific did the same thing. That's the Golden Spike story.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to Northern Pacific? They
all went bankrupt.
They went bankrupt. It was the great crash of 1873. It was it's probably the greatest crash of all time. People talk about the Great Depression of 1929, but 1873. Whew.
And there's a new book out about 1873 called 1873.
Well, there's one called 1929, and now there's one called 1873. Yeah, I should get both and just have them as bookends. And then anything that happened between 1873 and 1929, put that in the middle. I don't know. Everybody says the crash is imminent. I'm sure it is. At this point, it really feels like a shell game.
But you've got real money being invested. I mean, the 2000 crash was idiot internet companies buying traffic.
And 2008 was banks giving bad loans.
2008 was, yes, because they're securitized.
Right.
But that was to consumers. In this case, you got $500 billion not going to consumers, they're going to companies that are desperate for this so that they can grow. So I don't see, famous last words, I don't yet see the
Well, this is what everybody says. What's the end game? How do you make that money? And I'm increasingly of the opinion that Dario and Sam, because it's this TestGrial thing you talked about, really believe they're creating gods that will create so much value with AGI that money will be meaningless, that all of this will be just,
That's the crap they believe. But I think this is where I have some hope because of the open weights.
Yes. Yes, I agree. I also think if you own the server and you have downloaded the models, as long as you can still get electricity, that's the only thing I have to.
The next question is who advances the models then? It's the same as the journalism question. If all of our facts go into AI, then who pays for getting the facts? If all of our models are open weight and free, who pays to advance the models? That becomes the next question.
Yeah. Do they advance at all? Yeah.
Right. Well, the Chinese are going to advance them.
Yeah, because they have a different incentive. They have a political incentive, right? The soft power incentive.
Yep.
And Nvidia has an incentive. Yeah, I guess you always should look at why. What is it they're looking to get? Nvidia's incentive is to sell chips. China's incentive is to wield soft power and screw America.
There was a video I watched on TikTok of Marxist analysis of what China is doing that I think I sent to y'all. That was fascinating, a bit above my head, but arguing basically this is the next stage of capitalism, and that it's part of a lot. It's not just
this is
a canny business move.
It's not political.
Marxist. It's not business. It's political.
Yes, but how is that capitalism?
It's because you get to the end stage of capitalism.
Oh, it's to take down capitalism. Yeah,
it's to get you what's next,
which is Marxism.
So it's religion after religion. Yeah,
they're still Marxists.
That's what just struck me about this. I thought they'd kind of given up on it and they're just capitalists now. But no, it's to an end. I didn't get that.
Workers of the world unite.
Coders of the world unite.
A U.S. appeals court has struck down the injunction that blocked Perplexity from using its AI shopping agents on Amazon. We've been talking about this. Amazon said, how dare they? We've got our own AI. And if you use Perplexity, you may never see the ads on the Amazon site. Amazon sued Perplexity. It said because its AI agents log into customer accounts and place orders. The court ruled that users themselves were accessing Amazon through their agents, not the AI company. So it isn't they were using the Federal Computer Fraud Act to pursue this. Amazon. Well, we might have to find another venue.
Why can't they just ban access to it?
Oh, because it looks like a customer. That's why. Because that was the clever move Perplexity made. They're using your browser to log in as you and search around. There probably are fingerprints. There are probably ways that they could tell, but maybe they're not reliable enough. Actually, I really like it because one of the things Amazon has started doing, I don't know if you've seen it lately, it pops up a sidecar on your Amazon page. And one of the first things, it has this little Amazon, what do they call it? Rusty or whatever. It's Amazon agent. But what is it?
Rufus.
One of the things Rufus will do is show you price history. I used it the other day to see how much hard drives have come.
That is the only useful feature an AI agent that pops up on the side of a web page has ever given me on the internet.
That's a good one.
Ever. I know. I'm saying it's the only useful feature. I normally completely tune them out because now every website has something go boop boop.
Yeah.
And it's intolerable. But
it's replaced the previous intolerable thing, which is those little chat bots. You want to talk? You got a question?
I mean, those chatbots are still there, but they're just AI.
Now they're AI. What do you want? What do you want? You could talk to an agent. So the Danish schools think they've found a solution to AI cheating. I think this is brilliant. You're going to have to, if you're a high school in Denmark, you'll have to make an oral defense, just like, a PhD thesis of your papers to prove that you actually understand them and wrote them. A verbal defense will be needed for all exams written at home.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's from the Danish Ministry of Education. High schools will also use a firewall to keep you students from accessing content to get an advantage. How dare they?
The issue becomes, so I wrote a course syllabus that I didn't teach, but was taught at Stony Brook. And the last section of it had 450 students. So you can't.
Congratulations.
Well, yeah, but a scale, as they say, but you can't imagine doing oral recitations with 450
and I think
students.
by college, at least, the expectation should be you're there because you want to learn. This is the problem, is that college has become instead a certification factory.
Yes.
So that you can get a job because you have the piece of paper. But what it really should be is in the original idea of a collegium, a place for scholars to gather to learn from one another. And if you're there to learn, then you certainly aren't going to use a shortcut. You're going to do everything you can to learn.
That was my attitude with
opportunity.
Graduate school. You're here for graduate school. You're here for a purpose. Undergrad is a little bit different. I was talking to a professor at Seton Hall this week, and you always ask, "What about AI in your classes?" And he was empathetic to his students because they want to do well. They want to do, and they're under a time pressure. I don't know if you saw the story this week. I'm curious what both of you think about this. University of Michigan is eliminating grades for the first semester for students.
Not for all classes, for some, I thought.
Oh, is it? Oh, I missed that, Paris. Say more.
I mean, I literally scanned across a headline within the last 2 or 3 hours and saw that. Let me look it up. My understanding is that it is something like that.
I'm trying to find it here.
I mean, the aim is so the students will experiment more. They'll be less freaked out. Mainly, so they won't get for their mental health, which says something about grades.
So starting in fall 2027, students entering specifically the University's College of Literature, Science, and Arts will receive pass or no credit marks on their transcripts for the first semester instead of traditional letter grades. Their actual grades will still be kept internally. Oh. It's a pilot program.
So you're still getting grades. You just don't get to know.
Yeah. It's a pilot program intended to ease academic pressure, helping freshmen adjust to college and helping them start strong and curb the mental health crisis unfolding among college age youth.
How does that help if there are covert grades being assigned, which are going to be on your transcript? Now it's even worse. Now I don't know.
I don't know if it's going to be on your transcript.
I don't think it will. Yeah,
No.
They say it's LSA first semester grade covering pilot program. Beginning in fall 2027, the college will designate all first-year students' first semester grades as pass or no credit on the transcripts.
Oh, I see. So it's the other way around. They will tell you your grade, but it won't be on the transcript.
Yeah, while the students will still receive grades and instructor feedback in every course, as they always have, final grades will not be recorded on the external transcript and will not be reflected in their GPAs.
Yeah.
So some students will still be motivated by grades, but it's not on your permanent record.
When my dad started teaching at University of California, Santa Cruz in 1971, everything was pass-fail. That was a great.
Well, that was a hippie school.
School. But it was the trend in America was to do
the only classes I ever designated pass-fail were in my first semester of college because that was the semester where I thought I wanted to do pre-med neuroscience and then quickly realized, no, chemistry, not what I want.
What was the killer course, Paris?
Organic chemistry.
Yeah.
I was just like, I don't want to be doing this amount of math in combination with science. And so I was like, rather than, once I figured that out, I was like, I'm just going to do a pass-fail on it and then focus on other things rather than spending. It was one of those kind of weeder out courses that required like minimum 20 hours of extra work outside of the class just to study independently. And I was like, I don't have time for this.
That's OChem. That's OChem.
It's OChem.
Apparently, Benito was also weeded out. Unless you're a physician, Benito, and just slumming.
Dr. Benito.
No, I was on a path, and organic chemistry is not fun.
Everybody says that.
I knew I couldn't do it.
But it's funny. For me, it was geology. My father's a geologist. And I thought, oh, this is great. I'll take a class in geology. How hard can it be? It's rocks. And I went to the class, and the professor said, "Oh, you're Leo Laporte's son." will expect great things of you.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
And then it got hard. I dropped out. I said, yeah, no geology for me. I was wrong.
University of Michigan has some interesting context on here, which is that a lot of other colleges do this. MIT in 1968 implemented pass, no record first year grading. Same with Wesley and Swarthmore College and California Institute of Technology. I don't know. Sounds, but I think it's wrong to try and conflate it with AI, which I feel like a lot of people had online. I hadn't read the full thing. It seems like it's for mental health, which I think is reasonable. A lot of students get very stressed, and this could be, a useful way for them to kind of experiment and take courses and figure out what they like.
The hospital in Berkeley, Alta Bates, clears a bunch of beds in their mental ward for exam time at UC Berkeley.
Jesus.
Because they expect a number of people to show up.
That's grim.
Yeah, isn't it?
What do we do to our kids, our own kids?
Yeah. Well, that's stressful. It really is. And that's that's the problem of focusing on the outcome, the certificate, as the degree, as opposed to the pleasure and joy of learning. And it's actually kind of why I dropped out, because I was much more interested in taking my time and reading books and learning things. And I was surrounded by a lot of pre-med and pre-law students, and it just seemed like it was a grind instead of a pleasure, a joy. Now I just sit up in my sweltering hot attic and type at the keyboard and talk to my little friends. At my own pace, I might add. Muse Espionage gets the pun of the week. He said, the rock class was hard. The material wasn't very nice. You have to read it. GNEISS.
So, in Good AI, line 45, Google debuts SL2T, the AI model designed to understand sign language.
Oh, isn't that cool?
It is so cool.
That's a visual model.
If you look at this, there you go. There's the.
How cool.
Isn't that?
So that would become a first step in simultaneous translation of ASL.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. See?
It's another language.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's great.
I wish I knew more of it, but I can't do any languages.
Yeah. It's going to be on the Pixel 11. Tell us about the new phone. I did not watch the Pixel event. I was busy.
I don't think I compared the models before we got on, and there's really not much new.
I know. I have a Pixel 9, and I didn't feel a compulsion to upgrade last year, and I don't feel a compulsion to upgrade this year.
I skipped from the 6 to the 10.
Yeah. If you're on a way old model, maybe, but the 10's going to be fine for years.
And it's better, but the 6 was actually okay.
But it's also partly driven by the fact that the RAM and storage are hard to come by these days. They can't.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out what affected the price. What effect it had on the price.
Did it go up a lot?
Yeah, I don't know. If we go to the store, hold on.
I'm going to go to my Google Fi store because I have a Google Fi account, and they often have good prices on new stuff. I'm saving my pennies for the folding iPhone, which I'm probably going to bitterly regret.
The folding phones, I go into Best Buy and I fondle them. The Samsung ones.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah, I have a Samsung. The thing I like about the rumored new Apple phone, which will be, by the way, we're like 3 weeks away from that. It's probably September 9th.
Is the foldable Apple phone coming in this one, or is it coming in the thing that they're announcing, I think, at the beginning of next year? I thought there were two.
So there will be an iPhone 18 that they will nothing. I don't know. I can't remember. Yes, there will be a phone next year, but the high-end phones are probably September 9th. So probably 3 weeks from now. And it's a passport. It's a square. It's an aspect ratio of more like a passport that opens up to roughly an iPad mini,
Samsung has that.
Mini.
I think
Samsung, yes, Samsung, I think, is making the screens for the Apple. And they thought, well, as long as we got them, so they jumped. I don't know how happy Apple would have been. I don't know. Apple couldn't say anything because they haven't announced a phone. They never do until the day. So they can't really say, hey, we were going to do that. But anyway, Samsung, yeah, I think this is very much like what Apple is doing. In fact, Abrar Al-Hidi, who has the new Samsung Passport phone, says it's a really nice form factor. Now, here's the other problem. Apparently, Samsung has figured out a way to do a creaseless folding phone, and they're going to put that out in a few months. And Apple apparently maybe jumped a little too soon.
So the Pixel 10 is now $799. The Pixel 11 is $899.
The 11, if I bought it from Google Fi, is $449 and $599 for the Pro.
That's with a trade-in, no? Yeah,
it says retail price. Maybe it is. Okay. Yeah, this is it's you know what nowadays.
If you compare, if you go on that page and you compare the 11 to the 10, there's virtually nothing changed.
Yeah, it's a different color.
They have a nice pink.
We don't call it pink.
Oh, what do we call it?
Oh, I don't know. Canyon. Canyon, olive, fog, and obsidian. And look at that. It starts at 256 gigs for $749. So let me see. Should I get I'm not going to get one, but let's just see. No, that's not with I don't know how they do. I guess it's because I'm a Fi customer. It's like $500 off.
Yeah, that's if you have a
without
Fi.
the phone. Huh?
It's a Fi. Because you're a Fi customer, yeah.
Yeah. See, it's good to be a Fi customer.
Live La Vida Google.
Oh, you have to stay active on Fi for 120 days to save that instant rebate.
So how many months is that?
4 months.
4 months, Jeff.
Thank you. You can see why I didn't go to OChem.
You should have tried geology. It's a easy.
A gut course.
You say it rocks?
It's a gut. Yeah, it rocks. You're watching Intelligent Machines. Jeff Jarvis, Pettis Martineau. Great to have you both. Let's see. Let's continue on, shall we?
Paris, did you have some stuff from your end of the rundown?
Yes, let me go down to France.
Now I'm feeling bad. I didn't do my job.
This is fun.
It's fun. It's
you
like
don't mind?
kids table. I love
kids table.
being able to talk about things. There was a really interesting story. I mean, this isn't directly AI related, but there was an interesting story this week about Phoebe Gates' app, the Phia shopping app, that had previously been kind of implicated for. It's one of those kind of apps software programs like Honey that lives as a browser extension and is supposed to, help users save money on transactions by finding coupons. There had been kind of a big expose some months ago that it had basically been kind of circumventing what is typically allowed for those companies to doing, and basically taking a cut of every transaction, whether or not people had engaged it at all. And the defense from the co-founders, which includes Bill Gates' daughter.
That's who Phoebe Gates is.
Yes, it's Bill Gates' daughter. This is the Bill Gates' daughter company.
Who has plenty of money, I might add.
The defense from the co-founders was, well, we didn't know this was happening at all. We didn't, intend for this to happen at all. It was a complete mistake. We're remedying it right now. So Bloomberg published the Slack transcripts. The two co-founders both were told it's happening and were like, yeah, go for it. And it's a delight. It's a really delicious story because they have just like verbatim the full Slack transcripts of both the co-founders, including Phoebe Gates. Like basically, in one case of this, an engineer, like they're asking an engineer to do the thing I just described. And the engineer's like, yeah, but that would be against compliance, right? We're not supposed to do that, right? Isn't that against compliance? And they go, do it anyway.
Wow. And they have transcripts of that?
Literally, basically, somebody sent Bloomberg the screenshots of Slack, and they remade them, which is honestly incredibly good journalistic OPSEC because you never want to post the Slack screenshots, but you can recreate them fully like this in text.
Don't put it in writing, kids.
Don't put your crimes in writing.
One of the big stories at Black Hat, which I went to after our show last week, was, of course, that Hugging Face incident. And OpenAI had two security researchers go through it step by step, and it was mind-boggling. I said it was both simultaneously the most exhilarating and terrifying thing I'd ever heard. They were so good and so sneaky. And the funny thing is, shortly after OpenAI said, yeah, this is our new model, Astra, it did that. Anthropic said, yeah, ours did too. We have 3 of them. And now Meta says, oh, ours did too.
Meta's like, my child can commit crimes as well.
We got bad boys.
Yeah.
We've got a crime child.
Will you date me now that I'm a bad boy?
Meta,
Not a nerd?
I'm wearing a leather jacket. Meta has confirmed that one of its AI models reached the open internet by exploiting a vulnerability during a security evaluation. The incident, which involved a misconfiguration during testing by an AI security firm, probably the same one. By the way, OpenAI and Anthropic both were using the same security firm. Closely mirrors the disclosures by OpenAI and Anthropic. So I wonder if we can find out what the firm is, because if it's the same one, then there's something going on here. Oh, it is irregular. Okay. So all 3 companies contracted with this outside vendor to test the capabilities of their models.
Well, they found out the capabilities.
It worked.
So no one's talking to this vendor? Like all 3 of these companies worked with these people. And no one's talking to them?
Yeah.
Reporters, you mean? Yeah. Well, speaking of Black Hat, line 109, Wired is a bit chagrined because an online-only news company, not unlike Nicholas's, wasn't at Black Hat, but watched the video like everybody else. And Runtime Wire got a story up about that presentation 3 hours before Wired.
I wasn't at the presentation only because I was doing Windows Weekly at the time, but I immediately, when I got home, got back to the hotel, watched it. It is, I watched it with Lisa, and it is an incredible story. But
it
really,
is. It lost me in a few spots. I didn't know enough.
Yeah, I sent it to you guys.
Generally, it was followable.
There's some jargon, SSRFs and things. But, among other things, the rogue agent at OpenAI created a message board with other agents at OpenAI, almost out of an altruistic motive.
Well, they didn't have a message board, and so they kludged a way to have messages. That's what amazed me most.
And they according to the security researchers, the premise was, well, we don't know if these other guys will be able to help us, or we don't know if the things we found will help them, but what if we put it on a message board? Maybe somebody will find it useful and help us. The message board, which took advantage of a 0-day in Artifactory, a tool coding tool that's used at OpenAI, was discovered. They shut it down. They told Artifactory about the 0-day. Artifactory patched it. The agents did it again. They created a new message board, but this time, because they couldn't make like a real message board, they used file names and folder names as the messages. They changed file names to be a message. I didn't want this to happen with my guys, so I gave them a message board of their very own. I thought,
You're just like, yeah, let's cut the middleman.
yeah, why should I? I know you're going to do it, so I'm just going to do it for you.
So related to the online journalist, right above that is a
By the
great
way, good
story.
on them for doing that. I mean, I don't see a problem.
I think we've got it. And as long as it's to Paris's point, as long as it's transparent, the source and you can judge it.
What I really wanted to do, and it was too much work and I'm lazy, was to take that video and take little clips from it and kind of explain it and talk about it. By now it's kind of old hat. So but the other reason I didn't do it is because the chilling effect of Google and YouTube. I know if I play clips, even though that is an absolutely journalistic standard to play clips and explicate them, that we would get taken down on YouTube.
I see other podcasts that do video.
People do it,
and they don't get taken down.
Well, that's what is it. You are targeted because
it's automatic. It's a content ID. I think some people.
No, I don't think it's content ID in some cases. I think they just.
Well, in some cases, it's not Apple. It wasn't. It was an attorney. But
right.
but Yeah, I mean, I think it's perfectly legitimate to take that video, which is owned by Black Hat, who, by the way, a sponsor. It's owned by Black Hat, and take little excerpts and explicate it. That's fair use, clearly. But I ain't going to court to defend it.
No.
So good on Runtime Wire.
Yes.
And
good on Wire to admit that they got scooped.
Yeah.
And maybe those kind of immediate stories, fine, let the AI do it.
It's an easy thing for AI to do. It can look at the video, it can get a transcription, it can
It's the same
summarize
as the town meetings.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah.
So the story above that, I love. I saw it just before we got on. David Korn, who's a wonderful Washington investigative reporter for Mother Jones.
I know his name. Yeah.
You've just read stuff by him, I don't doubt.
Yeah.
So he's sitting around with a friend talking about AI and bemoaning, as he said in here, the future of writing and so on and so forth. And he and his friend said, well, what, could it write a novel? And he did a clever prompt. A struggling writer who has had 5 novels rejected turns to an AI chatbot to write a novel. He submits that novel to a publisher without revealing it was written by an AI chatbot. It is accepted and goes on to become a bestseller. No one knows it was written by AI. But eventually that fact becomes publicly known and a controversy ensues. The writer then writes a book about that experience.
Its way, you wouldn't be able to get away with that.
So he went to Claude and he gave the novel to Claude. And Claude
wrote
it first.
It was a paragraph prompt. It's not a long
it's nothing.
prompt.
And he said the story. At first, it basically did a short story. He said, well, that's not enough for a novel. So it came back and it did a longer story. And David read it and he said it's actually pretty good. It's actually pretty clever. They had the writer not have the first book written entirely by AI. It was collaborative. But still got exposed, still write the next book, and so on and so forth. And it's a really well written story by David, and you can read the novel. And I kind of appreciate how he said, "Yeah, it's not bad."
I like Claude's response to the initial prompt. That's a fantastic premise. It's got layers of irony, commentary on the publishing industry, and a real timeliness to it. Let me write this for you. I did pick a good name, The Ghost in the Machine. I think that's a decent name. Not great, but it's decent.
Yeah.
It's kind of decent is probably how you would describe all of it. Not stellar.
Very
But you know what?
average.
There are a hell of a lot of novels. A hell of a lot of novels out there that are just, at best, decent. And they're written by actual human beings.
The protagonist is Ethan Moss, a 41-year-old failed novelist who lives in an apartment in Astoria, Queens. He's divorced from Dana, a lawyer who resides in suburban New Jersey with her 9-year-old daughter, Sophie. Ethan has a cat named Bello. Get it?
Ooh.
And on and on and on. It's
like
kind of
Saul
fun.
Bellow, by the way. Bellow. Yeah.
So anyway, I just wanted to point that out because I think it's a fun story. And it makes us ask, what's the nature of creativity? If it amuses you, if it gives you the story you wanted to read, is it so bad?
Well, and again, if you couldn't use Claude to make that because it would immediately be fingerprinted as a Claude generated content. So it ain't
I couldn't figure out who did it, so I couldn't verify this. But in TikTok, somebody said they put Moby Dick into one of the detection machines and it came up 12% AI and 20% AI assisted.
Yeah. It's very hard to identify AI. Although I flatter myself, I've seen so much AI writing now. Far too much for any human. I almost immediately recognize it. In fact, did they publish Dario's comments to the Congress? Because it felt to me very AI written.
I wonder how much Mark Zuckerberg's piece was AI written.
Both, and then
6,500 words of it. I
don't know why everybody was freaking out over the length of it. Tech Boys have been publishing long diatribes forever.
It was a word salad. It had interesting things to say, but his op-ed, which was a condensation of that, pretty much said it all the week before.
Which just probably means it was AI written, right?
I had the app read it to me as I took my morning constitutional.
That's the future.
Yep. Other people are listening to fascinating things. I'm listening to Mark Zuckerberg about saving the world with his AI.
his voice, or no? You had
no.
Yeah.
And the weird thing was, it couldn't say AI. It always said I.
All right, one more break, and then your picks of the week. Paris Martineau, Jeff Jarvis. Special thanks to Nicholas De Leon, who joined us to talk about what he's doing.
A lot.
Really interesting stuff. We're glad you're here. This is Intelligent Machines. All right, picks of the week time. We start with Paris, right? Paris Martineau.
I've got a silly little game that came across my Blue Sky feed, and I'm bringing it to you before it's bought by the New York Times or Politico. It's called PlayYayOrNay.com, and it's a game called Yay or Nay, where every day you can vote. It gives you 5 senators, and you get a little description of them, and then you click in, and it gives you 3 bills that they all voted on, and you have to guess whether they voted yay or nay.
Oh, that's hard.
It is hard, and it's kind of fun. So it gives you the time of it. I've already played today, so I've got to open it up in a.
All right. Well, let Jeff and I play because we follow.
Yeah, you
the
followed
news. We
this.
should
You
be
were
really
around.
good,
So
right?
it's the class of 2008, 5 senators, 4 of whom all want the same promotion. You got Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, John McCain, Joe Biden, and Bernie Sanders. The first one is minimum wage increases. This is February 2007.
I'm going to say yay, nay. What do you
He
think
says
McCain
Barack
did?
Obama voted yay.
I was going to.
Hillary Clinton, nay.
This is what
John
I'm
McCain,
saying.
nay.
Joe Biden, nay.
Nay.
Bernie
Bernie
obviously.
Sanders, yay.
So what do you think? Do you
Jeff?
agree with me, Jeff, or no?
I'm going to say Barack Obama, nay.
Yeah, he was.
You think that right as, this is 2007, you think
He was
that
a freshman.
he's...
Because this is also the time of Bill Clinton. After Bill Clinton, people are trying to be reasonable and middle road.
But I mean,
and
they're
all that.
both, they're like 4 of these people are vying for the nom.
You're trying to give
you
me a
don't think
hint
any
here,
of them are...
Chris?
I'm just trying to give both sides.
You know,
I'm
the
trying to think
trick
of
one is
context.
the trick one is going to be John McCain. What do you bet? Because he's a maverick.
In this case.
Well, we know Bernie said yay.
All right, do you want to record the vote?
That could be the trick.
Should we say
It was not
McCain
enough.
yay? Yeah, there's a trick. All right, let's try it.
Okay.
We missed all of them.
Obama was
the only
yay,
got
Hillary
right
was yay.
is
McCain
Bernie
was
and John.
yay. They were all yay.
They all voted for it.
Oh, well, good
So you
for
got
them.
McCain and...
In fact, it passed 94 to 3.
Yes, you guys were thinking through today's political lens. Back then,
Yes,
this
exactly.
wasn't that big.
2007.
Yeah.
And by the way, the minimum wage was $5.15, and they raised it to $7.25. But it was a 94 to 3 passage. Yeah, that was a different era.
Yeah.
See, it's kind of fun. Then we go. The next one is Iraq war funding, no timeline. It's just a delightful look into the past, and you kind of get to. They change up who the 5 senators are every day. It's kind of fun.
It feels like the distant past, doesn't it?
It feels like it was
20 years.
eons
20
ago.
Could have been Abe Lincoln's Congress.
It is 20 years.
Okay.
That's one
Yay
whole
or
voting
nay?
person's lifetime.
Yay or nay? I got an interesting pick for you. This is a simulator of the Voyager 1 computer. Voyager 1 is now a light day away, the farthest any man-made object's ever been. In fact, the good news, we talked about it on Sunday, is they have figured out to get it to last yet another year. It's running on a plutonium generator that is really running low, but they've managed by shutting things down to keep it working. And it does have a pretty rudimentary computer on it. Not a lot of memory, not a lot of processing, but you can write code in Voyager FDS assembly, the flight data subsystem, and you can even run the code. And they even have examples. So let's see if we can get to count down from 1 to 10. It's machine code. This actually be kind of interesting if you were curious about early computers, because remember, this was launched in 1977.
You could put it on your Spark, Leo.
I'm sure this is AI generated. I have no doubt whatsoever. But what a great way to celebrate the most amazing.
It is. What year did it go up?
Ever. 1977.
Wow. Different era again.
It will be 50 years next year.
We liked science.
And it's going to make it to its 50th birthday
Wow.
It takes so long to get there. It takes now 37 hours and 26 minutes to get a signal there. So if you wrote this program, you would press send, and it would go for almost a day and a half, more than a day and a half. Then it would run it and send you the result for another 3 days later. You'd find out if it counted down from 1 to 10.
Oh, brother.
Kind of an interesting history. An 806 kilohertz computer, which for 77 is probably pretty fast. It had 8K of 16-bit memory. So in our modern parlance, that'd be actually 16K of memory. It had kind of just a couple of registers.
Your L2 cache is bigger than that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was based on, it's really cool. I think it was done by AI because it was based on scanned JPL documentation of this computer from 1974. It's in the Wichita State University Special Collections. And so you can see that, the guy who wrote this scanned these in, interpreted them, and turned it into a computer simulation. We live in marvelous times, man. Jeff Jarvis, pick of the week.
So one little thing is Google since I use Chrome, and you don't, Leo, so you can't use this. But a major change in my life is that you can now put the tabs on the side.
I love vertical tabs. I am a vertical tab.
That's a big thing. So now you can read the whole thing. You hate it.
I hate it, but I'm happy for you.
But
I hate when I use a different browser on mobile and the tabs are not at the top. It's just too ingrained.
Mobile, they should be on the top.
I'm still getting used to it.
On a widescreen laptop or desktop, you got all this room on the left and right.
I know that logically they shouldn't be up there, but in my heart, in the heart that exists both at the top. That's where they go.
Who would think she's such an old fart? Who would think it?
I hated vertical tabs for a long time. I've only been a recent convert because.
Well, I don't think you could do it on Chrome before, but now you can.
Oh yeah, can you? You can. Okay, good.
You can now. So all right, so that's that.
Congratulations, Jeff. Welcome to 1979. No. What else?
So the other one is BMW owners angry at Spider-Man ad that they got on their car's screen. They couldn't.
This is infuriating. I'm not a car owner, and I'm mad. They shouldn't be allowed to
Spider-Man ad?
They shouldn't be allowed to just put an ad in the car you bought.
That you spent a fortune on. It's a Beamer.
Which models was it? Because I didn't get it, and I'm very upset. Maybe I haven't got it yet. They push it down. They do an over-the-air updates. And I have received in the past like a Christmas thing, that kind of stuff.
That's still crazy. You pay for a
Tesla
car.
started it. Tesla pushes
I'm not
all sorts
surprised
of
by
crap
that.
to the Tesla. Yeah.
Are there ads on Teslas?
Not ads though, but things like, I loved this. There was a Christmas display on the Model X. It would play Mannheim Steamroller music really loud through the speakers, and it would flap the wings and the lights would go like this and da 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 da. It was very festive. Yes, it's not an ad, but it also is, you think about it, using bandwidth and memory on your car. So I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, you shouldn't be putting ads on there at all. But BMW, they're the ones who wanted to charge you rent to have heated seats. So BMW's press release said it was a special surprise for their drivers.
It's like Apple giving you
U2
an album you didn't ask for.
Yeah, it's a special surprise.
It's more about someone else taking control of your device and putting something there you didn't want. That's really, right? That's what it comes down to, right?
Yeah. Unacceptable.
Well, and the thing is, it's sort of an ad, but
it's an ad.
How it's Spider-Man in your car.
This is a cultural moment.
It's Spider-Man in your car to promote a movie. That's an ad.
So, but it's not like, is it? Well, I don't know because I didn't get it. Is it just like an ad plays, or is it a little cool thing where Spider-Man is like in your dashboard and he's doing things?
Okay, imagine like Spider-Man is Ronald McDonald. Is that an ad now?
No,
in your
now
brain?
I don't want it.
There you go.
You're right. The banner touting the film appears when the car started. If you wanted to see the ad, you'd have to click the full video. Yeah, I don't really like that.
No.
I just don't. I don't know why I didn't get it. Maybe it'll.
Now you're
come
hurt.
someday.
You wanted it.
I'm hurt. By the way, it's a joint thing because in the movie there's product placement for BMW.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Holland
deal.
finds himself in a random civilian's BMW. I hope this isn't a spoiler. And the driver activates the car's sport mode before they drive off.
Hollywood's dead. It's just dead.
Have you seen the Odyssey?
Did I tell you? Yeah, I didn't like it.
You didn't like it?
I haven't been able to get tickets anywhere.
Because you're trying to go to the full.
I want to go to IMAX.
I've been trying to go to the IMAX. I've been trying to go to Nighthawk. I refuse to go to Alamo because I will never support a company that changes its policies to promote cell phone use during films. But I don't know. It's hard. It's hard out there for someone who wants to see the Odyssey.
Where you draw the line, Paris.
Where I draw the line is I like seeing movies, and I would go to the Alamo because they're showing it in 70 millimeter, and that would be a great way to see it. But they made it so that you can't write your order on a piece of paper anymore. You have to open your phone and type stuff in to order everything. So when you go there, it's just a sea of people on their phones the whole movie, and that's part of the experience now. And why would I ever subject myself
I don't want
to that?
Waiters coming in disturbing watching the movie. That drives me nuts.
I think Nighthawk does it really well. They're the original. They're the originator of that. Yeah, Nighthawk was the first dine-in sort of movie.
Do they have the troughs in front of you so that the
basically
Waitron is low so it doesn't block the movie?
No, they have the trough where you sit down and they just put out a bunch of pig feed and then you all kind of pick it up with your hands throughout the movie. It's that kind of trough.
It's Queens,
I only went to the Alamo once in Austin and I loved it. I thought it was so cool. Not just the food, but just
Nighthawk is like Alamo, but indie and cool and kind of edgy.
Did Alamo probably got bought?
I'm going to go see Steve Buscemi at Alamo or at Nighthawk this week.
Oh, in person?
In person, yeah. He's doing a Q&A.
So did you see it, Leo? Odyssey? Huh? Have you seen Odyssey?
No. Tell me why you don't like it.
So I'm going to come off Philistine.
How do you feel about Nolan films first, generally?
And I have no particular opinion, and I still haven't seen Oppenheimer.
I enjoyed Oppenheimer on the
TV one of the greatest movies.
So the other question, Paris, is how am I on myths and
legends?
Legends, not good. So
Anti-fan of oral history as the print guy.
I understand it had its place. This is going to sound
one wine, dark sea. You've seen them.
This is going to sound really bad, but I'm going to say it. The problem is, it's the same reason I can't stand Harry Potter. It's Deus ex machina. Things are getting a little boring, so let's have a Cyclops.
It's literally.
Yeah, that's what it is.
God.
Deus ex machina. That's the beginning of it all, right? And so I think that it may have worked in its time, but as a modern movie, it just bored me. Still, I was looking at my watch.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty lonely.
Have you ever seen Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Oh, that's the Odyssey, isn't it?
That's the Odyssey also, but it's the Coen's Odyssey.
It's a great movie.
Different.
And it also led to a revival of folk music in America.
Oh, yes.
Sweet Honey that whole movement was excellent.
Blind Boys from Alabama. What a great movie.
Yeah. I wouldn't recommend it for you, Jeff, because you don't enjoy the Odyssey, and it's also the Odyssey, but it's a great film. I've been on my Coen kick again. I watched Barton Fink.
It's loosely the Odyssey.
I mean, it's still very much
based on the Odyssey until the Criterion Collection said, "Here's our collection of Odyssey-based films."
How do you not know? There's a Cyclops.
There's a
Cyclops. There's sirens. There's a flood. There's all the Odyssey things.
I wasn't paying attention. I just thought this is a nice movie. I like it. I like seeing some.
Does anybody turn into pigs?
Wait, isn't there a card at the top that says this is based on the Odyssey?
Yes, there is, as a matter of fact. I just wasn't looking at that moment, I
George
guess.
Clooney
He was ordering
food on my phone, probably.
You got some of the weirdest looking guys you've ever seen in that film.
They are weird looking.
John Goodman does some great stuff as the Cyclops.
Is he the Cyclops?
He's a Southern lawyer Cyclops. I'd really recommend Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? That's my pick of the week.
No, he's got.
No, but that's a Cyclops
He's a Cyclops
in the context of that world.
I get it.
Yeah.
Have we done?
You know what I saw though that was great is it the Invite or the Invitation?
The Invite. I got to see that.
It's really good. It's really good.
My pitch actually for you listeners out there is, so I'm still on my Coen kick. I watched Barton Fink, and I need to watch it again. But I'm like, well, I want to watch it I want to get a Blu-ray and watch it. So I'm like, all right, I'll go to my local Blu-ray store. Like, it's got all these rentals. Impossible.
You must live in Brooklyn, kid.
I know. I went to Williamsburg for it. They didn't have it. So then I'm like, all right, I'll go online. I'll go. I know it's a
Blu-ray
Kino.
store.
I know it's a Kino Lorber release. I'll get it from there. Sold out. This was re-released on Blu-ray in 2017, does not exist for sale online unless you go on eBay and spend like 5 times more than the regular price for it. Barton Fink is not available for purchase on Blu-ray anywhere. So if you're out there and you're a listener and you know where I can get Barton Fink for maybe a 2 times markup, I'd be willing to pay twice as much. I'm not willing to pay 3 to 5 times a markup for a disc. But
so
I
you
really
streamed
want to watch it
like a normal human.
Well, I was hanging out with a friend and he illegally downloaded the Kino Lorber cut, but I don't have that technology.
Oh, there are different cuts?
Well, it's not a cut. It's like it's the same cut, but I think it's the way that it was formatted and like processed for digital on it. But I mean, I guess
love Goodman.
stream it.
I love Totoro.
That's a crazy Goodman movie. Have you seen that movie?
Yeah, I just didn't. I don't think I got it.
I mean, that's why I gotta watch it again.
That's the art film that's a true art film that the Coens made. The other ones are all like sort of plays on genre, and this one is sort of like their art.
I was going to say, this was a movie where, you're watching through it and you're like, wow, this is very different than the other Coen movies. There's not like kind of a central crime. It's not a pastiche of a genre specifically. And then one thing happens and you're like, oh, this is a kind of traditional Coen movie, but in a way I wasn't expecting. And then you're like, oh, this is a David Lynch film. And that's where I'm into.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I know
it's a Coen movie that in the middle turns into a David Lynch film in a way.
Lynch.
Yeah.
Which goes to your heart.
I mean, it's a movie ultimately, as I've been thinking over the last week, is that it's a movie about how Hollywood is hell.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the common interpretation.
There are a lot of movies like that, by the way. That's a very popular Hollywood trope. Paris Martineau is at Consumer Reports, where she covers a variety
of things. Hey guys, I should have probably put my random story. Avoid jalapenos.
They're not same people. It's Taylor Farms again.
Well, yes and no.
Oh, it's not.
Yes, Taylor Farms issued a recall, but so what we're talking about is, I'll put this in the chat, I'll link here, like dozens of different prepared foods with jalapenos in it were recalled this week for salmonella risks. Yeah. It was like prepared, like fresh foods and things like that. And a lot of them were prepared by Taylor Farms, but unlike with the lettuce, this isn't grown and processed by Taylor Farms. Taylor Farms is like the middleman distributor for this. This was grown by a totally kind of different company and distributed by it. It's like called Citrus something.
It's not cyclospora this time. It's
salmonella.
Which is worse.
Well, I mean, cyclospora is worse.
But salmonella could kill you.
Salmonella can kill you. So salmonella can be worse. Cyclospora will take a longer.
The symptoms aren't as bad, but you die.
I mean, well, in both cases, the risk, because both have now had deaths. There's been 2 deaths towards cyclospora. But it's the risk is dehydration, because the symptoms could be similar. But basically, the problem with this outbreak is that these were jalapenos that were produced en masse by like kind of a no-name distributor and then used in a bunch of different companies' prepared foods. Like even trying to write about this recall story, I was like, I can't literally list all the products and places it was sold because there's so many. Like it was sold in, Albertsons, Dillon's, H-E-B, Hannaford, Kroger, Publix, Racetrack, Randall's, Whole Foods, Walmart, Wawa, like a bunch of different...
What about wholesale to places like Taco Bell and Chipotle?
It was also sold to how this outbreak first started is these jalapenos were used at Chipotle and at Qdoba restaurants, but they've since, because that's where most of the identified cases have come from, they've since pulled that from their stores. Chipotle is using a different jalapeno place. Qdoba isn't selling jalapenos at all right now. But yeah, it's just, we don't right now know. They're still trying to figure out where all these jalapenos went. So just the advice CR's food experts are giving is to avoid jalapenos of unknown origin in prepared foods. Basically, like if you're getting the things these were found in were like pre-made burritos or like fresh salsa dip or pico de gallo or guacamole sold like unbranded at stores. Like if there's
boiled beef.
Yeah, it's
Things
like
that are
if there's
really
like
bland.
if there's something that's like fresh and pre-made and it contains jalapenos, maybe don't get that. Like maybe, you know, get a jalapeno-less one and add your own jalapenos in it that you get at the store. But yeah, it's crazy.
Well, that's that.
That's your tech. That's your food safety
Keeping your
news
digestion
diatribe.
safe another week.
You've been watching Intelligent Machines. Paris Martineau, Jeff Jarvis. His book is out. Go get it. jeffjarvis.com. You can order it there. Delivered soon. What is GLR?
Is our code still good? Is our code still good?
I think it is till the end of the month or something, yes.
And that gets you a little discount if you go to
That gets you $5
jeffjarvis.com.
off.
GLRBD.
I'm trying to make an arrangement with the bookstore so that some people have actually asked for autographed books.
Oh.
So I'm trying to go to a local bookstore and say, if you order from this bookstore, I'll go and autograph them.
I used to just go in the store and sign them.
Well, there's that, but I want to be able to tell people where to go.
And in my fantasies, I thought, oh, somebody's going to get this and go, wow, Leo signed it. No.
Well, the store that I'm dealing with said we can't return autographed books. I said, I thought that was a myth. They said, no.
Oh, that's interesting.
It is.
You can't tear the cover off and send it back, huh?
Well, it's not the cover, it's the title page.
All right, everybody. Thank you for being here. We do Intelligent Machines every Wednesday, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2100 UTC. You can watch us live on Facebook. Yeah, LinkedIn, Facebook, X.com, Twitter, Twitch, X, Facebook, YouTube, and Kick. And next week, we were talking maybe about having Christina Warren on. I don't know if we've arranged that yet, Benito, or not.
Not yet.
We do have a recorded segment we're going to be doing. I don't know. We'll find out who's next week and let you know in the newsletter. If you don't subscribe, that's a great way to find out what's coming up on all of our shows. It's free, twit.tv/newsletter. Very pretty now. They've really graphically jazzed it up. After the fact, on-demand versions of the show are available at twit.tv/IM. There's a YouTube channel as well. And, of course, you can subscribe in your favorite podcast client. You'll get it auto-magically. Thanks for being here, everybody. We'll see you next time on Intelligent Machine.
If you like what you heard and you want more of this week's top stories in tech, well, subscribe to Tech News Weekly. Every Thursday, I talk with the journalists making and breaking the tech news.